Ugh. Hello everyone, I am live on YouTube right now and I am covering the Epstein files releases. Hold on, fucker. Hello everyone, I am live on YouTube right now and I am covering the absolute chaos unfolding for Keir Starmer because of the Epstein files release. I'm covering Epstein's relationship with Israel and Palantir, so hop in. The link is here if you're seeing this on Instagram, and if you're on TikTok, the link is in my bio. Files. Hi everyone, hello. This is probably going to be a quiet ass stream because I know Mr. Piker is live in about an hour on this platform, which is probably not gonna be great for the viewers, but what can you do, you know? I think he's just on our time for a little bit. He might even be live right now. Play Viva Pinata, I don't know what that is. I love when you do Instagram stories live. Yeah, I thought I'd get it out of the way now rather than do it later. What was I going to say? Also, thanks guys for all the love on the No Politic Here episode. It's great as always. Crazy how like short we've been doing it and how like decently the podcast is doing. Wait, I need to get a link. Hold on, excuse me, sorry. We are loyal watchers. Yes. Sup. Not much. Sorry, just recording my shit. Hello, everyone. Hello, Nox. Hello, Mini Finny. Hello, Master D-Roy. Hello, everyone. Like watching the Mona Lisa be painted. Yeah. The last episode was really good. I'm glad to hear. I thought the second half of it was particularly good, to be honest. Yeah, like really, really good. We'll quickly do the Wordle, and then we'll get on to it. What if there is an innocent explanation for Mandelson's relationship you don't know? Yeah, true. Maybe you're right about that. Maybe, yeah. It's crazy. It is actually playing hugely in the UK right now. I mean, Epstein was given, like, private UK government information, basically, is what the crux of the story is. Like, that's what happened. He was giving UK government secret information fed to him by, you know, by Peter Mandelson. Sorry, I'm just putting up. Hello, putting up the story. I thought that was like going to be a joke, but it seems you're actually asking seriously how to fix a hole in a pair of pants. But I have no idea, mate. I've never fixed a hole in a pair of pants. Most of the time, if my pants have a hole in it, it's because I've worn them for far too long. Okay, we're going to start with prank, because that's how I'm feeling. Wow. We're going to do rates to see if there's an E. Okay. Cardi? Is that a word? Oh, I knew the A wasn't there. So it starts with a C, and it doesn't have... Oh, wait. Now there's only a small amount of you in here. What I'm going to do... Actually, wait, no, I'll wait to send them. I'll wait to send them, because it still won't work. Oh, you're asking for a design idea. I don't know. I don't really have a great answer. I really can't think of what this will be. It can't have an E. It can't be, the R can't be here and it can't have an E. I just want to know the A. So the A has to be So it's something A. It could be something AR. Cure. Hello, Radical Caffeine. Yeah, I don't know what this is. So the R has to. Oh no, it has to be something. It has to be something RA. The C is an S sound. No, it has to end with RA or AR actually. Claw, is that a word? I know claw is a word, but clua, no. Chaw, that's not how you spell chaw, but cora, no. It might be something cura. I do want it to be, it might be cigar, actually. I think you're right, it's cigar. Nice, great guess. Great guess. Honoring Fidel. Did Fidel Castro die? Or recently? I know he's dead already. Did he die? Not recently. Did he die at this time of year? Because I swear it was in November. I know he died back in 2016, to clarify. Fidel Castro. Let's have a look. No, he did die in November. That was a great guess. I remember because I was on a school trip to Berlin. Gosh, we got a lot of Epstein stuff to cover today. Have you seen the number of people defending Epsteiners? Not really too many defending him, I will say. I think most people have sort of not defended him. I don't know, though. Hold on. It seems like Epstein was up to a lot of different stuff. There is some crazy Peter Thiel stuff in there. Happy Black History Month. I didn't even know that it's Black History Month. I didn't even know. My cake came out very well, in case anyone was wondering. I'm glad to hear it. Good for you. No, not Epstein. The people in the files. They're horrific, doing horrific shit. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Someone on Twitter calling the Epstein files boring. Well, I mean, a lot of people are like... To be honest, there are a lot of people who are just like... totally unwilling to engage with it. Like, totally unwilling to engage with it and, like, how weird it really is. And especially the way it's reported in the media. Like, they really don't bother focusing on, you know, Epstein's links to Israel, Epstein's links to powerful people. There's some crazy videos of him talking to Ehud Barak. But, yeah. We'll get into that all. The UK's Black History Month is in October, but I celebrate both. Okay. I thought it was. I thought I was a bit confused. It was a Zionist saying that, of course. Who was saying it? Who was saying it? I swear I saw that. I can't find the person calling the Epstein files boring. They're really difficult to navigate, the Epstein files, though. I was just looking at people. There are some redactions in there that just don't make sense at all. Like, I was looking for this one person who's talking to Jeffrey Epstein about how they're going to move to Portugal if Jeremy Corbyn wins the election. And it's like, why is that redacted? They were having a conversation with Jeffrey Epstein. I feel like you lose your privilege when you're emailing Jeffrey Epstein and calling him your sweet pea. In fact, I'll show you. Epstein files. Corbyn. Look at this one. So this is an Epstein file I was just looking at. Here, because I searched Corbyn to see what anyone is saying in here. So someone said, "Hi, sweet pea, sending you happy birthday wishes. Hope it's a good one." A great one. Thanks. Hope you are well. From Jeffrey Epstein to whoever this is. All good. Christopher is loving Eton. Not me, I didn't go to Eton. And all seems good. We are choosing secondary schools for Catherine, and I am halfway through my second study year. Oh, and if Corbyn becomes PM, we are moving to Portugal. Smiley face. Sent from my iPhone. Who is this? Why were they emailing Jeffrey Epstein like this? Why can't... It doesn't say, there's nothing that interesting in there. Sweet pea is to Epstein as well. Yeah, whoever this was had a very, very, very close relationship. No, I don't think Mandelson has children. I don't know who this was. Like, I think if you're emailing Epstein in 2019, you probably should be questioned about what you're up to. But yeah, remains to be seen. Okay, cool. Right, fuck it. Okay. Could it be the pilot? She had a close relationship. I don't know who the hell it is. I don't know why this isn't public though, because if you're, by the way, also most of you wouldn't know, Eton is like the best school in the UK, or up there with the best schools in the UK. So whoever the hell this is remains to be seen. Remains to be seen who it was. Anyway, right, let's quickly do this. Period drama. No, okay, that's not the answer. Stamp. Jack Reacher. Jack. Ryan. Jack. Can anyone think of a Jack with these? Jack Bosch, Jack Sam. Has to be a bougie or a member of parliament. Yeah, probably. No, Eton isn't a name. Eton is a place. Eton is like a very, very, very expensive school. And it's also someone in the UK, because I feel like saying secondary school is a very UK thing. Jack Black. Well, I can't see a black on here. Period interval stretch. I think it might be span. There are different words for like a period of time, duration. I'm sure it's Reacher Ryan. Jack Inhofe. Wow. Who the hell is that? Who the hell is that? Cross, Psalm, pass. What's the other one though? Why is it pass? Lanyard. 3 + 1 letter. Fair. Marple. 3 + 1 letter. Fair. What are they missing? 3 + 1 letter. I don't understand. Trees + 1 letter. Isn't what, an air tree? Maple. Fir. Oh, maple fir. Okay, it's in the. Ooh, have they ever done that before? I've never seen them do that, where it's like fir, maple, palm, and why would it be popular? What's a popular tree? Poplar? What's popular? It is trees plus a letter. Wow. What's a popular? I can't think of that one. Opula? Poplar? I've never heard of a poplar tree. Palm, yeah. Well done, whoever got. Well done, mediocre. Lanyard, cross, things that are worn. Oh wait, lanyard, wristband, stamp, pass. They're all things that get you into places. I'm assuming that this is Jack or something. Modern crime series protagonist. Oh my god, I thought it could be that as well, but I didn't know if a Jack Cross existed. But yeah, I've been enjoying searching the Epstein files, because you can kind of search if there's anything, you think about there in there. I don't know if Destiny's in there. I haven't found much. Tony Robbins' date with Destiny. What's that? I'm just searching his Destiny in the Epstein files. I'm still working on it. I'm learning so much at Tony Robinson's. I'm thinking that he's not. I think it's more just people talking about Destiny. I haven't found anything to do with Lonabox, Hassan, H3, maybe. Ethan Klein. No, nothing like that in there. I was also looking at things like Piers Morgan, and there's nothing really about Piers Morgan. The problem is if he ever shares an article, and more what I was assuming would be part of this would be like, if it was like H3, he'd shared a video of theirs, but unfortunately he hasn't shared a video of theirs. Because all of these Piers Morgan stuff is just like, it'll just be like, look, if you click on here. Oh, no, wait, no, this is Michael Wolff. I saw SB in London yesterday, and he seemed especially paranoid around reporters seeing him. My guess is that he is working hard on his relationship with Trump. I don't know who SB is. Someone will have to work that out. You can't really, yeah, you could just search. Who's a good name to search? I mean, Keir Starmer, I haven't actually checked. This is someone just messaging about Keir Starmer, but I want to see if Epstein ever spoke about him. This is just someone talking about, these are just people sending in complaints to the FBI. What is this one? I don't know. It's very blurry, whatever it is. Putin and Xi Hunger Games, UN headquarters. I really don't know. Steve Bannon's obviously in there. Stephen Bonelli. I had a look. There's nothing of that. You can search like anyone, though. Possibly, yeah, possibly. Yeah, it could be anyone. Hold on. One second. Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know who you're ever going to find in here. I wonder if he ever mentioned KSI. There's a lot of KSIs in here, so maybe we'll get something. A different Wolf, I think. Don't think black kids went to Eton. Search Morgan McSweeney. Apparently Michael Bay is in the files. I want a term of service right now. It's so over, boys. I'm just seeing if there's anything to do with KSI. Because, you know, he's a big YouTuber. No, unfortunately, this seems to be something to do with his kit. I don't know what this is to do with. He doesn't... Deji, maybe KSI's... Steve Bowtie Pasta. Who else could be in here? Sheldon? Wait. The Big Bang Theory? I wonder if he was interested in the Big Bang Theory. Wait, what's this one? Big Bang Theory. No, so I was just want to know if he, like, Mr. Beast wasn't around. He's appeared as himself. The Big Bang Theory of Hezbollah. What is this one? Oh, no. Okay, I thought Epstein was actually messaging about that. Sheldon Cooper? What is this? Someone from... Oh, no, it's Quora sending this to him. Are these inventions ways to stop babies from crying on public planes? He wasn't a Big Bang Theory fan. What else, mate? The Sopranos. I wonder if he ever emailed about The Sopranos. To Ghislaine Maxwell. How you been? We missed you at Doug's birthday party. I had prepared a beautiful speech, which he absolutely forbid from giving. I had been scaring him for weeks that it would be a roast and was emailing him the story of that. Wait, where's The Sopranos mentioned in here? Oh, hope all is well. Got to get out of time and work in time for The Sopranos. Who's Guy Coleman? Let's have a look. Oh my god. He's the head of He's actually like a pretty significant individual. He wanted to watch The Sopranos. He's apparently the head of policy governance at AIG, according to LinkedIn, but it may be a different one. We'll have to look into that. I wonder what they were watching, like if Epstein liked The Sopranos. I know he liked Sex and the City. Got to get out of work. This guy really liked emailing Ghislaine about The Sopranos. Oh no, wait, no. This is Ghislaine messaging him back. Okay, well, I was really hoping that was a different thing. Why are there so many emails about got to get out of work in time for The Sopranos? Oh my god, wait. Why is Steve Sharippa in here? And Steve Sharippa, he's funnier, and Woody likes him. Used him in last movie. Oh no, they're talking about making a movie. AFD is mentioned. What, Alternative für Deutschland? Yeah. You featured Climbing the Ranks. Am I featured? I doubt it. Of course he liked Sex and the City. Also, my monetization got cut off yesterday, which was annoying for the stream. There are a lot of emails. He really wanted to get Steve Sharippa, who plays Bobby. What's this one? From GMAX. So this is her emailing. Wait. Also included is a very telling email from Rothstein in wrote AJ Discala and former husband of The Sopranos, Jamie Lynn Sigler, whose hedge fund dumped $30 million. Wow. Bobby Bacalieri, yeah. Is that his name? Yeah. Weirdly, my old manager's name is in there a few times. Really? Wow. My name is not in there. So this is just about Jamie Lynn Sigler, who plays Meadows' husband. The New Jersey-born actor. Is this just... Oh, this is a Bloomberg thing. Edie Falco? Oh, wow. So Edie Falco was seemingly invited to a dinner with Margot Rogers to Leslie Groff. So this was sent by Leslie Groff to Epstein, of like the people who were going to be at the deal. Have you checked to see if Jeffrey Epstein... No, I'm looking into it. Eminem... God, okay, 11. Wait, is this Jeffrey Epstein? Hold on. What time do you usually go to bed? Yeah, I like Deal or No Deal. I like the show Dexter. I like The Sopranos. I like Family Guy. I like The Office. Wait, is this Jeffrey Epstein? Jane Doe versus Defendant. Oh no, it might not be. It might not be Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, my therapist has diagnosed me with PTSD. Oh no, this is one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. Bill Cosby, maybe. Okay, let's search Pikachu. I don't know about searching Pikachu. I wonder what will come up. Why is this here? Hey, sweets. How is my favorite Pikachu? Any chance you are free tonight? How have you been? What have you been up to? Who sent this? Why is this in here? To Catherine Kuchka. Jeffrey Epstein seemingly not even mentioned. Who is this? Interesting. Peter Griffin is in the files. He may well be. He may well be. Wait, where did my searcher go? Oh, here it is. No, he's just got like some messages from like being forwarded to him about like Apple and stuff. I don't think there's much in there. Really scared of all fictional character. I don't know. I've seen the Norman Finkelstein stuff. We'll talk about it later. Oh, sure. Sorry, I didn't even see it.
It is
Guitar Gold
ridiculous.
MHS. Epstein was the one who solved Five Nights at Freddy. Freddy's. Wait, is it in there as FNAF? How much Palestine is mentioned in there? Oh, there's way too much. From Jeffrey Epstein. Palestine was never an exclusively Arab country, although Arabic gradually became the language of most of the population after the Muslim invasions of the 7th century. No independent Arab state ever existed. Also, Qatari, thank you for becoming a member for that long, for 5 months. You've nearly got that red labubu. Wait, sorry, someone told me not to do that, and I will try and stop doing it. He said there is, Professor Philip Hitti testified against partition, said there is no such thing as Palestine. By the way, this really reads like an official Israeli government or an official propagandist statement on this. So hold on. We consider Palestine as part of Arab Syria. Like, this reads like someone who was talking about this just as some idiot. Is there stuff about the Golan Heights in here as well? The countries that recognize there wasn't opposed. Was he just debating people about Palestine? I wonder if there's much about Hamas in here. Wait, Yahya Sinwar. Why is this in here? Wait, is this because I've just... No, this is part of the Epstein tranche. Why is this here? This is weird. So it kind of is shocking that this has been released like this. Palestine is Syria. Well, Palestine, if you asked most Palestinians, or what would now be Palestinians, most of them would have said that they would like to be a part of a greater Syria just because of the historical, like, precedent of that. And most people probably would have been happy with that, but as nation states emerged, they became part of the nation state of Palestine. Or they wanted to become part of that, which is fair enough. But yeah, there's the King Crane Commission asked people what they wanted, and they said, yeah, we'd like to become part of Greater Syria. But, of course, Palestine is not... I suppose that's different to what he's saying. Jeffrey Epstein was dark woke. I'm not sure about that. Let's see what he's saying here. What is this? From PMW Bulletin. What is PMW Bulletin? What's this? To Jeffrey Epstein. So this is Terje Rod Larsen who's sending him... By the way, this is the guy who negotiated the Oslo Accords who's sending this to him, or like played a role in the negotiation. Brat, thank you for the 5 gifted. That's incredibly kind.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Thanks for the 5 gifted. Yeah, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Everyone who just got a membership, enjoy your new emojis. Also, I can gift some free memberships, so I'm going to do that now. Let's see who gets the 5 gifted.
It is utterly ridiculous.
I'm just waiting to see if it's Elab. Oh, unfortunately, it's not Elab. Everyone, enjoy your new gifted memberships, and welcome to becoming a member of the Chris Kunzler YouTube channel. Gaza-based Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh. He sent a lot of stuff about, like, just pro-Israel propaganda. But a lot of this is just news outlets, obviously, sending this to him. Like, you know, if you're signed up to something. Let's have a look. Some of this maybe, why is Terje Rod Larsen sending him this kind of stuff? But I guess that this is from a subscription to it. Elab didn't get one, I'm afraid. This is just all Terje Rod Larsen. So all of this Hamas stuff is just Terje Rod Larsen. Wait. Brat, thanks again for the gifted membership. Kellen Sanchez Meow, enjoy the membership. Oh, wait, here we go. No. Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, this is PMW Bulletin. What is this? Elab, your dream of getting a membership is just... It's not... I fear for you, I'm afraid. Iran gave Hamas... There's some interesting stuff. I'm just looking through people who might be in here. Who's someone who, like, I don't know, we can look into being in here? Yasser Arafat. But then again, it'll just pull up this kind of stuff. Yasser Arafat. Is it spelt with... Will it be spelt with 2 S's? Yeah, it is. There's not actually much about Arafat in here. What's this one? The Shimon Post. Oh, Jeffrey Epstein was just signed up to the craziest stuff. How official is it that Epstein was an Israeli op? This is the real question, and I'd recommend that you read the reporting of... Dropsite News and form your own opinion about all of this, basically. His opinions about all of this is really interesting because basically what Dropsite argue is maybe that there is nothing like that is 100% that he was a Mossad agent, but he operated in such a way that he was effectively just working for the Israeli government or at the behest of them, you know. So it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know. He also, by the way, Epstein was obsessed with lying that he was taught by the Unabomber. I'll show you something about that in a second, but he used to talk about it. Hello from the Hassan Arbi community. Hello from you, and thank you for being on here. Thanks for the incredibly kind $5 and for making streaming possible. I'm incredibly grateful. And Papa Yaka, good to see you. Damakuno, enjoy the one gifted membership. Larry King from the Franklin Credit Union. Okay. Maybe I will in a second. I just want to see if there's any actual Jeffrey Epstein emails about Yasser Arafat. Ooh. No. So this seems to just be some, like, subscription service that's sent to Epstein by the Office of Terjerod Larson. Just saw a weird one from a 4th of June. And Elab, your dreams of getting this membership. It's tough. Hamas TV, dead Gaza civilians privileged to have died this way. Okay. Is it Papa Jacka or Papa Yaka? I'm going to go for Papa Yaka. Yeah, they all have an obsession with lying about the Unabomber. It's really shit because this person, these are all just like shitty ones from just... These are just shitty ones from, like, basically no one important. They're just emails to his thing, so it's quite hard to find. You wanted to see Modi, Narendra Modi. There are some comments about Modi, right? Why is this redacted as well? Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi said he's ready to take unpopular step to improve nation's economy and fiscal health as his 3-week-old government prepares to unveil its plans for its federal budget next month. Why is that redacted? Excuse me, why is that redacted? Jeffrey seems to have had dyslexia. Yeah, there's a real clear indication that Jeffrey Epstein had dyslexia because, as we're going to watch later, because we're going to talk about Peter Thiel and Palantir and stuff, there's a crazy bit with Peter Thiel where when they're talking, he tries to spell Palantir and he spells it Pallentieer or something like that. Billionaires are weird. Brat, thank you for the $5. And yeah, I'm starting to reach that conclusion that maybe being a billionaire might make you a bit of a weird person. I think that may not be an outrageous conclusion to draw. There's not much about Keir Starmer in here. Let's have a look and see if Eminem is in here, because the Modi stuff is once again the same issue. I know there is proper Modi stuff. We will talk about it. These are just the Quora Digest sending him stuff. What's this one? New releases, Taylor Swift, Far East Movement, and Kings of Leon. The dream of getting Elab a membership is just impossible. But Terratrove, thanks for the one gifted. And yeah, Brat, thank you for your incredibly kind donation. Russia Say, enjoy your new membership. Epstein was interested in his pop music. They seem to enjoy nothing but depravity. Well, I mean, you're saying that. Just as Jeffrey Epstein receives an email, why also is this redacted? Why is it redacted, whoever this is from? Why can't we see who this is from? It seems like a thing that we probably should get to see who it's from.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Gallic Pebble. Or maybe it is that only weird people can become billionaires. Dolly Parton is not a billionaire for a reason. I mean, I think that also, like, becoming a billionaire is submitting to the social demand. That's basically how you become a billionaire, by submitting to the social demand of prioritizing profit over everything. But why is this redacted? Like, it doesn't feel like a thing that really needs to be redacted at all, you know? The Kings of Leon have released something. I'd love to know who was telling Jeffrey Epstein about this. Eminem. This seems to just be the same email over and over again. Title new on behalf of Django. This is from someone? I don't know. No consistency or reasons. The redactions are insane. Yeah, the redactions are genuinely just unbelievable. Sorry, someone's gym work for Trevor Chalobah. Oh wow, Sandro Tonali offered to Arsenal by agent.
It is
crazy. Oh my
ridiculous.
gosh, Keithley Bear. Wow, thank you for an incredibly kind gift of 20 memberships. Jesus Christ, that's incredibly kind. Wow, thank you so much. Holy shit, I think we may have reached the amount. That is a hugely kind donation. Thank you for, again, supporting this and making it possible. Oh my god. Wow. I don't think that is... Wow. Jesus. Keithley Bear, an incredibly kind donation. Okay, let's have a look at... I know Jay-Z's actually in the Epstein files. Who are we going to look at? And yeah, I think we may have actually nearing reaching the top. Sultan bin Sulayem sent Epstein an email with one line of text. Chancellor Merkel in her youth and a censored black and white picture. What the fuck? I wonder if they had... Wait. Hold on. Chancellor Merkel in her youth. Weird. That is incredibly weird. What? I hadn't even... this is the problem, once again, with the Epstein files. And kind of why I don't mind just, like, doing a little bit of this. I've got, like, a lot of stuff prepped around Mandelson. But... like, I haven't seen people talking about this. Is this a nude photo of her? I mean, I don't think it's implausible. You never know what they were getting up to. Oh my god.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Beefy laptop fund or to pay bills. Who cares? Keithley Bear. Jesus Christ. That is an incredibly kind donation. Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much, Keithley. That is incredibly kind. I don't really know what to say. That is... thank you for... honestly... thank you so much. That is a huge W, and I'm incredibly grateful for you, like people who have the ability. It's not something that I demand or something that I'd ever expect of people. Honestly, watching is enough, but thank you so much for doing this possible. Like, honestly, it is so... like, it's so hard to build a platform on YouTube, so people watching me consistently when there are so many other brilliant streamers out there is crazy, and I'm so incredibly grateful for... donations like that. Chris is retiring on streaming today. Yeah, I don't think I'm retiring streaming today. I love it, but yeah. I think it's a known photo outside of... okay, wait. Young Angela Merkel. I would also not retire from streaming. I'd probably... doesn't Hassan, like, not take donations now at this point? Because I kind of understand not doing that when you're like, a big streamer. Well, also, by the way, I don't think that's... I don't think... Who's Sultan bin Sulayem? Sultan bin Sulayem is a hugely powerful businessman in the UAE. And I will try and take this international, by the way. And the beefy laptop may have to be done. I probably do just need to get one. I might even just get one so I can stream when I'm out there. You could go for many burgers. Maybe I will. I've got to go to... I'm got to go to Bristol this weekend. So maybe I will go there and get one. I don't think, not sure if he just does outright, doesn't do donos. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome. Bad Empanada recommended you for a reason. Did he? Did Bad Empanada recommend me? That's kind of him. What was I going to say? I need to stop doing the thing. Also, by the way, look how crazy this guy's picture is. Oh my god, look at his head. What the hell? What the actual fuck? He's the chairman of... oh my god, look at his head. I'm a big-time lurker, living current events roughly one day behind in order to keep my sanity limits. I'm glad to hear that you watch, and honestly, thank you so much. You've been a member for 6 months as well, Keithley Bear. I'm so incredibly grateful. Honestly, thank you so much. Look at this image. I've never seen his head. He's always wearing a thawb, and also... I don't know. He cannot look like that. He doesn't even look like that generally. Look at that photo of him. Look at this photo of him. He doesn't look that bad in this. I mean, what the fuck? He doesn't look this bad in this photo of him and Jeffrey Epstein. What is that? He looks like Charlie Kirk. He looks like he's got Charlie Kirk's head there. And he wanted to show Merkel in her youth. By the way, I can't find the image of this outside of this. He is gay 100% fucked by Epstein. I mean, some of the Mandelson stuff makes it seem like maybe Mandelson was having sex with Epstein. I don't know. I can't find this image outside, and why would they redact it if it's a publicly known image? And if it was a publicly known image, why would they not just redact everyone else? I don't know. That's a good question. Let's have a look if there's more to this.
It is utterly ridiculous.
No, he just sent it multiple times. I wonder which one. And why is there one in?
Ridiculous.
Why is there one that's in color, and then one that's not? Chancellor Merkel in his youth. Sultan bin Sulayem. Crazy, fucking crazy. Getting wrecked by bad empanada. I think we can review the Chris running on bad empanada interface meme. Yeah, Terror Trove 8 months. Fuck, man. Incredible stuff. Thank you for being such a great mod. W Terror Trove, and thank you for everyone who's supporting. People who wear sunglasses inside, sus. Yeah, I mean, if your head looks like... I think also you've got to give him some credit. You know, his head looks like that, so how on earth would you blame him for wearing fucking sunglasses inside? His head looks like... He looks like Charlie Kirk. But the redactions are nonsensical, but I do think this probably means that this is not a widely available photo of her. Yeah. Emily on YouTube, but added that Chris was an impossible exception. That's as far as you're going to get towards a bad... Oh, I'm glad to hear. What else are we going to look for? They redacted a painting, but not see in the... It's incredible. It's incredible. Wait, let's have a look at Sex and the City. Let's see if there's... Who sent this? Who sent this? I'm sorry, I went to see Sex and the City. Not so good. Sent via BlackBerry. I will talk to Tal tonight one more time because don't want any boyfriend problems, and will forward you number with her. Think Samantha from Sex and the City. Oh my god, did he message about Charlie Kirk actually? Wait, that's a great point. Hold on. What is this? There's loads of just FBI news briefings going into his email about this. Right, incredible. Hold on, I'm going to put on my headphones. I prefer not having them on. You know what? I'll buy some new headphones at some point and replace the ones I've got. Was there not a painting that somewhat looked like Britney Spears? Jesus. You should have Bad Empanada on No Politic here. Maybe, yeah, maybe we will actually. I think maybe we will at some point. We've got a big amount of guests lined up though. We've got Daniel Denver from The Dig. We've got Aaron Ano. We've got, who else? That's all I can think of. And then we got the charity live stream the other day. I used to want a BlackBerry so badly. When I was a kid, I remember my dad having a BlackBerry and you could play the bouncing game. Do you remember that one? The bouncing game. Do you know what I'm talking about? The, like, Brick Break, I think it was called. Let's have a look. I feel sorry for whoever saw Sex and the City, that they couldn't enjoy it. Really been loving the pod. Keep that shit up. Thank you. Right, hold on. Let's have a look at more of this. Yes, I'm older than 18. Oh my god, this is a long... Oh my fucking god. Let's just have a look. Sender, self. Also, TV show Sex and the City. You can watch on plane. Helps with English. Or the movie Love Story. I trust you do what is right. I fully understand. Why don't you use money I gave you and go see doctor in Mexico to give you the H... Oh my god, he's texting someone here. He's texting a victim here. self. New York Times. What is this? In the last few weeks, he installed Popeye Lewandowski. Lewandowski? Bannon carrying Bannon's message. Bannon people carrying Bannon's messages. Learn English. Yeah, right. Chris, I have a job interview in Zoom over 10 minutes. Wish me luck. Yeah. Good luck, and you don't have to worry about donating me. I hope that you do. I hope that you get the job, and good luck, man. They might be related to Madeleine McCann. I don't know. This is... I don't know anything about that. How does he pitch this book on the inside? How does he pitch this book on Trump? This is weird. Trump's stupidity could sometimes be made into a virtue. Epstein kept sending this over and over again. You should get 50%. Ugh. I told Michael I would pass it on. So this is right before he went to prison. Palm Beach house purchase. I don't reach out to Michael, but Bannon was not confused. He's had a clear understanding of how great a liability Trump could be to Bannon's own vision and career. Within minutes of the budget bill passed, Bannon began working the phones. His goal was to light him up. Costa sat at Bannon's dining room table. This is fucking crazy. Wolf's book mentions me and underage prostitutes. Steve quotes lots. I have now seen some of Wolf's books. Mentions me and underage prostitutes. You as the man behind and in front of the curtain. Who is... Why is this redacted? This is a co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein's stuff. And it's just redacted. So happy to hear that. How are you? How are you? How are you? Selling dollars forward. Finance Yahoo. Selling... What is this? Hold on. Sex in the City. Do what's right. Self. I trust you to do what is right. This is really weird. Why was he sending someone about getting a HPV shot and a full blood taste? If not, when you go to Europe, I can organise Paris Doctor. Very strange. Big is moving to Little St. James Island. I mean, maybe, yeah. What is this? It's dailycandy.com. What? There is information about Sex in the City. Please do a pod on Yugoslavia. My college BFF is a Bosnian refugee, and she's the only people who gets my emotions on Palestine and Lebanon. Maybe we will do one. I'd have to do a lot of research. The only problem is that oh my god, wait, Kyle McLaughlin might be in here. The only thing is that James and what's his face are way more prepped than I am. James and what's his face, Isaac, excuse me. They would be way better at that. Wait, why is this one gone? Oh my god, this is talking about Virginia Giuffre, by the way. This is Virginia Giuffre. This is public. Thank you for the $5 and great to see you, Lemon Mint Cat. We do family things like watch Sex in the City. A lot of it was very glamorous. So this is Virginia Giuffre. This is known about her, by the way. We do family things like watch Sex in the City. It's really annoying that this one is redacted. Is this him messaging about Sex in the City? A woman who appears... Sarah Jessica Parker matched her character Carrie's unique style. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying me kind of searching through and trying to find stuff. 2 spent match for the Century Club. No, I think I may too have joked like saying... Wait, I want to see this. Let me see if I can find this. Noth. Let's have a look if Noth is in this. Multiple times. Oh, it's pulling up nothing. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, it looks like it may just be a crappy New York Post. Oh, wait. This is the New York Post article about Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, rest in peace, Virginia Giuffre. Without Virginia Giuffre, we wouldn't be here today. So Virginia Giuffre did a huge service, but unfortunately was, of course, suffered greatly at the hands of this horrible, horrible individual. This is unbelievable that you can just kind of go through this stuff. Yeah, this is actually something different. So it doesn't have anything to do with Carl McLaughlin being in the Epstein files. Don't worry, Carl McLaughlin is safe. He just did that weird shout out to the troops in Afghanistan, which is, or Iraq, I don't remember which. Okay, I don't think we're gonna get much more out of this. Unless, wait, there's maybe one show that I'd like to, or something that I'd like to search. Oh, Dr. Phil, great point. Zaria Zambuni, thank you for the 5 gifted.
It is utterly ridiculous.
That is incredibly kind. The unfortunate thing is that Elab will never receive this gifted. But Zaria, thank you for supporting this and making this possible. Dr. Phil, thank you everyone who's done for the support this stream. It's incredibly kind. And all of the people who are watching today. I know it's a day where Hassan's streaming, so a lot of you will probably go. So, yeah. Oh, wait. Let's search David Lynch himself and see if Epstein had any thoughts about David Lynch. No, it's just going to be Urban Zen. What is this? This is a very unusual thing. Jesus Christ. Is there a tweet about League of Legends? Zaina, thank you. Sophie, Jesus, thank you as well. I'm just sat here watching. Random Box of Weird, enjoy your membership. Tatiana, this is Mercedes, enjoy. Zayu? Yeah. But enjoy this. Thank you all for being here. And Sophie, thank you so much for supporting as always. No, it's just someone messaging Epstein about video games. By the way, once again, I will say, his business savvy was rather impressive, I will say. What do you think of those mentions so far? I'll cover that shortly, the Netanyahu mentions. That's the Dota. I'll check if there's any Dota. Dota 2? No. I just want to see if there's anything about Rabin in here. No, it's just Martin Novak texting him about Rabin. Ooh. This is Terja Rod Larson again. Fuck. What's the... Okay, right. I think we'll get into some proper Epstein kind of news now. Okay, right. What were we going to focus on? What were we going to focus on first? I think there's actually some crazy stuff. By the way, have any of you seen this? Oh, shit, I shouldn't have closed that. Wait, hold on. So this is the article. So Jeffrey Epstein got a piece of Kaaba cloth sent to him. He got it shipped to him. They walk around the... Hold on, I'll see if I can find this. They walk around the Kaaba. Let's have a look if we can see it in the actual files. Because I've seen people talking about it. Yeah, here we go. Right. So Jeffrey Epstein got a piece of the Kaaba cloth shipped to him. Kaaba? Here you go. Dear Daphne, I hope you are well. They walk around the Kaaba 7 rounds. Okay, by the way, the black piece was touched by a minimum 10 million Muslims of different denominations, Sunni, Shia, and others. They walk around the Kaaba 7 times, 7 rounds. Then everyone tries as much as they can to touch it, and they kept their prayers, wishes, tears, and hopes on this piece, hoping after all their prayers to be accepted. It's kind of crazy that you can get and just buy, you know, a piece of the Kaaba cloth. I mean, that's insane. Purchase a piece of Kaaba cloth. It's changed every year, so you can buy it, but I don't know how much it costs for, like, an original, authentic. You can buy it from Oswa Gift Shop. Apparently a singular piece is around 2,000 euros, according to this Reddit post, which says, you can buy it from the Oswa gift shop next to the Prophet's Biography Museum. It's in the Clock Tower Mall, second floor. You'll get a certificate of authenticity. It is very expensive, somewhere around 2,000 euros. That is fucking insane, but I'm assuming that Jeffrey Epstein paid for paid even more to get more of it. I just want to see if where's the other stuff? Minimum 10 million Muslims. What's the name of this person? Aziza Al-Mahdi. Aziza Al-Aham. Ahmadi. This person seems to be a very good friend of Epstein's, but yeah, kind of crazy that you can buy that anyway. Why would he want it? Because he was a collector of just odd shit. He loved having anything, and he would be like, oh, I've got this, look how well and expensive I am, look how well traveled I am. I also think, as much of a piece of shit Jeffrey Epstein was, he did also have like interests in some things, so probably just like that. He said there's some thing where he like defends Islam vaguely. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. And I don't think that changes anything about him. Hold on 1 second. I'm just going to hide the screen. One second, sorry, excuse me. I'm just downloading this. So it's Lawrence Krauss in here. Lawrence Krauss. Wait, let's have a look at this. So this is Epstein vaguely defending Islam. Let's have a look. Someone claimed it was at least. I couldn't resist sending you this. So he basically sends him this story about how some ex-Muslim sent him an email saying, I would like to start off by thanking you not only for enlightenment I now enjoy due to my eyes now being open to the amazing world of science, but also for your persistence on sharing your knowledge and your tenacity and conviction while doing so. I've learned and enjoyed your videos and lectures tremendously, and my favourite has to be the greatest story ever told. So he's basically talking about how he's going to consider leaving Islam. And then he says, I won't dignify this trite anecdote. If you had 1 million of these, it would not be worth 1 day of your time. If you want to be a rabbi, do it. This is not science, this is religion. And a total fucking waste of your unique talents. The idea you found this meaningful makes me sad. So there's him scolding this guy for talking about some fucking like ex-Muslim messaging him. So there you go. No. The Aziza person is an Emirati official. Their name is a UAE-based businesswoman, Aziza Al-Ahmadi. Sorry, it's called a kiswa, which is a piece of the cloth that goes around it. I love to collect things. Yeah, I think also. Oh, Amun, nice to see you, man. And yeah, it was nice to chat with you too. Yeah, I assume that basically what he wanted it for was just as a collectible. The kiswa carries deep religious meaning for Muslims worldwide. It's changed every year, but apparently it's very pricey. So, and I don't doubt that Jeffrey Epstein got some extra special thing to do with it. Epstein was fundamentally a dumbass with his money and was able to commit absurdly heinous crimes. Dumb guys have stupid interests. I mean, yeah, but also Orientalists have always loved to collect things. He was also quite racist, so I don't know what I'm saying there. He was a moron. But no, they're not in the Saudi government, so they just sold him a piece, likely as a businesswoman trying to make a lot of money. Oh, wait, actually. So the first thing I wanted to... I guess let's do a bit of Epstein... Oh, fuck, I've accidentally started the virtual camera, whatever that means. I didn't mean to do that. Let's do a bit of Epstein-Israel ties. So, first of all, a pretty crazy video emerged of Epstein talking to Ehud Barak about Palantir. And by the way, This is yet more proof that Jeffrey Epstein was a very, very, very stupid individual. So listen to him try and spell Palantir.
He thought there was two cyber companies. Look out, and even though I know Peter, I've never met Peter Thiel. And everybody says he sort of jumps around and acts sort of strange, like he's on drugs.
Smoking, yeah. He looks they're under drugs.
Listen to them both talking shit about Peter Thiel.
However, he has a company called Palantir. Pallen Tier. Palantir.
Listen to how he spells Palantir then. That is insane. Sorry, just...
Tier. Palantir. Palle.
Palle. N.
Tier.
Palantir. I don't know how you've come up with that.
Palantir is Peter Thiel's company. And look out.
Palantir, Palantir?
Yes.
I love how also what's his name spells it correctly instantly. Barack spells it instantly correctly.
How you write Thiel? Thielley?
Thiel.
Yeah. Lly.
No. Thiell.
He just can't even spell Peter Thiel. That's not how you spell Thiel, right? It's just Thiel.
Okay.
So he thought that Peter would put you on the board of Palantir. Peter Thiel is one of the best. I've never met him. He's going to come here next week. So I wanted to talk to him after I talked to you.
Okay.
By the way, it's kind of incredible that none of this stuff is being covered in the mainstream media because this leaves a lot of questions. Like, Palantir is now playing a huge role in terms of a multitude of different things, and obviously building surveillance. In fact, Peter Thiel's partner or husband, I'm not sure if they're married, is the ambassador to Denmark. So he's the guy obsessed with building these freedom cities in places like Greenland.
He and Andreessen, it's called Andreessen Horowitz.
And by the way, Andreessen, he's talking about, I assume, Andreessen Horowitz. I assume that this is Mark... Oh my God. I never realised that that's what Mark Andreessen looked like. Jacobin, Greenland. Andreessen, yeah, these are the guys who have a company called Praxis, and they are, so they back this thing called Praxis, which is the idea they're going to build these weird libertarian tech cities in Greenland, and this is what the guy looks like. He looks like a cone head. Yeah, him and Girl with a Microphone would do a great podcast together. But this is Epstein talking about two people who will probably go on to define the next 5-10 years of our lives. Well, are already defining our lives.
Horowitz. Andreessen Horowitz, that's what they pay Larry.
They're also, by the way, ISO using a Palantir app, a Palantir-built app, so that they can find where to raid. So obviously, like, Epstein knew something. Like, everyone says, yeah, he's an idiot, and I think it is pretty obvious that the guy was a major idiot. However, simultaneously, here he is talking about the company that would then go on to play a hugely prominent role. He knew something. He knew something. And he's also talking here, by the way, to Israel's most decorated ever soldier, Ehud Barak, or at that time. Now there's probably more decorated.
$8 million a year. Just to advise them.
Andreas and?
Andreessen.
Andreessen. I don't know if that's actually how you spell it. I thought it was Mark Andre. It's two S's and then an EN. So that, you know what? I can give him a bit of credit. By the way, I can't stop looking at his head. His head is crazy. I've heard his name. What is that one? What is that one? Come on, bro. That can't. No, you can't. Oh my God. This one's intentional, right? That's made to make him look like an egg. Oh, look at his head. He actually just looks like an egg. Straight up, this guy looks like an egg. You don't have to be book smart to be a power broker. No, I don't think you're wrong about that, but I also think he had a lot of people who were clued up about the turn that this was going to take. And the people who were probably cluing him up to this were his Emirati, because the United Arab Emirates is obsessed with AI. There's literally just been a story that's emerged and come out that Trump probably took that Trump most likely took a huge bribe through World Liberty Financial. Hold on, I'll show you it. I read it earlier. It's really interesting. It's Wall Street Journal, but it's talking about Sheikh Tahnoun bin Zayed and how they sent 500 million, $30 million just went straight to Steve Witkoff, at least $31 million. And then you also had 187 million to the Trump family entities just for this company that's basically fake. Pardons come out of it and all of this shit. And, these are the kind of people who are around Epstein. They did this, by the way, to get AI chips for surveillance. Epstein was keyed into this world, and he built a network with people. Like, I'm sorry, I can't even talk. This guy's head is insane. This is the guy who wants to take over Greenland. He looks like, people are saying he was great in Spy Kids. Yeah, he was pretty good in that, but he actually just looks like a conehead. Like, I've never seen this, but like, look at this image. Look at this image. Like, yeah, it's not as pronounced. In fact, his head actually looks more real as it's just an egg. It's an egg. It's insane. How is this real?
Andreessen and Horowitz.
And Howard.
Horo. Horowitz. Horowitz.
Horowitz.
Yes.
What they are? It's a lobbyist. What they are?
They are the biggest venture capital people in Silicon Valley.
What, bigger than Sequoia or Kleiner
These
Perkins?
are the new Kleiner Perkins. Everybody, these are the smart boys.
Yeah, did he kill Sonic? He tried to, bro. He tried to kill him. Just unbelievable. This is just like him talking about, like, yeah, these are the new boys on the block. Chat, remember to check the dono page on Discord.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, if you join the Discord, there's a link in there. You will join, and then you will be able to go onto the dono page. It'll bring you there, and feel free to choose one if you'd like.
Yeah.
So those two companies right away, in terms of, I said that we need now, in the next 3 weeks, if you're going to leave.
So this is from, as Ehud Barak was leaving office, official government service in Israel, he turned to Jeffrey Epstein for guidance. Epstein told him he needed to look at a Peter Thiel company called Palantir. Rare audio of Epstein and Barak from the latest DOJ release. What is the linked one? Like, look at this as well. I would really like to know what number file this is, so please drop site, yeah. We'll see also Ryan Grimm has a bit of a statement here about something. It's insane. And his head is optimized aerodynamically to join the thing. And yeah, there's also a charity link alongside the link in the Discord. The pinned comment if anyone wants to. Reminder, Voldson on holiday, end of holiday. So date with Reed Weingarten, Ehud Barak and Larry Summers, 8 p.m. dinner. Appears to be this dinner. So this was 2013, the dinner between the two of them. And also Larry Summers. Crazy that this was going on. Did you see the J.K. Rowling invite? Yeah, I don't think she invited Epstein personally, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't think that was who did it. I think probably it was done by someone in her orbit and stuff. I don't really know, though, 100%. Okay, this is... So, Ben Smith asks... Does this confirm your Israeli agent versus hustler, fixer, conman view? It's all fascinating, but this doesn't strike me as all that focused. I don't think there is evidence to say he is an Israeli agent, nor do I really think that makes sense. The evidence suggests he was an asset of Israeli intelligence, amongst others. And like most such assets, operating in grey zones, he was a hustler too. This is kind of what I've tried to elucidate and put out through how I read all of his information. He just seemed to operate in this bizarre little nexus, this space in which he operated in this space in which alongside a lot of other people who sometimes were part of the Israeli government, but sometimes were people like Ehud Barak, who had such senior roles in the Israeli government that it kind of meant like, oh, if you've left, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to know shit. You're still going to know people, So I think when you look at it kind of like that, you kind of see, oh shit, this is how this actually works. This is actually who he was. Not many Boy Scouts in the arms and diamond industry. The way that the two roles are presented as versus each other, like in the big New York Times story, is extremely misleading and obscures how the world works. I don't think he worked for anyone exactly. No, and I think probably working for no one is acceptable and a much better position to be in to just make huge amounts of money. But still, I just find it really interesting. I mean, we know that Peter... actually, wait. Have you guys... The conversation between Peter Thiel... By the way, Peter Thiel probably is doing, like, crystal meth and stuff. But then when Peter Thiel defends himself for not talking to Epstein, it's crazy. But sorry, actually, I just want to show you some of these emails. Hold on. Look at this one. So here he is. So here's Jeffrey Epstein texting Peter Thiel. Here it is. I keep hearing your intentionality argument. Imagine if this mess is what Obama really wanted. Iraq, Iran, Libya, Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, Egypt. We would have to admit a massive strategy, brilliantly executed. The intentionality argument would center on making sure the US gets less involved with the rest of the world. I think that's the plan. The more of a mess, just with a lot of bad guys on different sides, the less we will do. The less we will do. Okay, interesting. Okay, here you go. So this is what sorry, I've never actually pronounced this, guys. Arnaud Bertrand. Arnaud Bertrand. From a geopolitical standpoint, this is probably the most interesting Epstein email, an exchange between him and Peter Thiel in which Thiel says that the grand plan of US foreign policy is to make the world a mess in order to be less involved abroad. The idea being, I imagine, that if everyone is warring and divided, they're kept weak vis-a-vis the US and US intervention becomes unnecessary, which is incidentally pretty much what happened during World War II. The US let Europe and Asia bleed each other dry before stepping in at the end as the last economy standing, which is essentially how American hegemony was born. Wait, what? Which happened during World War II? That's also... I don't know really about that logic. American hegemony was much more born in the way in which it was working and evolved, and dependence on America was kind of born during the First World War more. Maybe someone would challenge that, and maybe he's smarter than I am. I know what happened in World War II. I know there was a bad guy and he did something, or something happened in World War II. Not sure. But yeah, that's my knowledge of World War II. But I've not read enough about it. Enough.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Academic literature about World War II, and I think I will. Read more. Arnaud Bertrand is a former neighbor of mine. Really nice bloke. Really, he seems like I've seen him before, and he seems to have decent analysis. B. Vanian X. Thank you for becoming a member. Shout out. We must nearly have hit the 200 members, which is fucking incredible, by the way, guys. Membership is like a great way. Membership is a great way to support the channel if you have the ability and allow me to stream. Well, I'm not going to stream more because I got projects going on. You guys, I'm working on something big with Isaac. We're working on something big. We're having a baby. I'm joking. We're not having a baby, but yeah. Thank you for becoming a member, Bvanian. Bvanian? Bvanian, thank you for becoming a member. Okay, right. It's the famous Harry Truman quote. If we see Germany is winning, we ought to help Russia. And if Russia is winning, we ought to help Germany. And that way we let them kill as many as possible. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of true. The capital stocks of the major powers were largely depleted. In the First World War, right? No politic here, baby. I believe Stalin defeated fascism by voting. I don't think you're wrong about that. Is it a nearly nudie calendar? Yeah. Isaac's the mama and I'm the father. The intentionality argument would center on making sure the US gets involved. The only thing, though, that I would read into this is the US did actually step back from situations that may have provoked... Well... You know what? Maybe Peter Thiel saw something that we all didn't. Crazy work from Peter Thiel. Hold on, there's actually something else I wanted to... There's something else that I wanted to look at. There's a great email where he's talking about Brexit. Okay, it just says Brexit, just the beginning. Don't worry about that. Right, we're going to pull on to some others. There's some crazy stuff about Maxwell, by the way. Not Ghislaine, her father, Robert Maxwell. So have a listen to this one. This one's fucking crazy. Based and Stalin pilled. We are Chris Kunzler. Don't even invoke Charlie Kirk. Oh, wait, please don't even mention Charlie Kirk today. Of all days. Every day is a day where I'm upset about Charlie Kirk. But yeah, I'm just looking on this. All of the Charlie Kirk stuff is post his death. Robert sparked to social media after replying to a tweet from Charlie Kirk. Wait. Jeffrey Epstein, congressional candidate compares Melania Trump to prostitute. Richard Kahn, who is this? Fucking hell. Oh, Jesus Christ. Also, but yeah, let's have a look at Father Maxwell. Robert Maxwell, Big Daddy Maxwell. Let's have a look at this. H told them, okay, wait. So this is to redacted. He was passed away. Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. Actually, let's pull up the actual email. You know what? Let's do our due diligence. Let's get ourselves up to the actual email. Okay, here we go. So Jeffrey Epstein sent an email, bizarrely, just before he died. Robert Maxwell threatened Mossad. And also, by the way, the email is called, he was passed away, which is a very weird thing. This is BK, by the way. So let's have a look. He told them that unless they gave him £400 million to save his crumbling empire, he would expose all he had done for them. In that time, he had free access to Margaret Thatcher's Downing Street, to Ronald Reagan's White House, to the Kremlin, to the corridors of power throughout Europe. Maxwell passed on all the secrets he learned to Mossad in Tel Aviv. In turn, they tolerated his excesses, vanities, and insatiable appetite for luxurious lifestyle and women. He told controllers who they should target and how they should do it. He appointed himself Israel's unofficial ambassador to the Soviet bloc. I mean, always there have been questions about how Robert Maxwell died. It's a pretty odd story. Apparently he died pissing off a yacht, right? In my understanding, that's allegedly how he passed away. Let's just have a look. Hold on. March 15th. Let's see what other emails Epstein was sending that day. So this is at 1:22 p.m. Look at this one. Wait. Look at this email sent the same day. Chris Clark, looking for woman / late 40s, early 50s, fun guy. Where does he live? Age. Eva Dubin is talking to him. She's the daughter of a billionaire or something to that effect, I believe. I'm just having a look at who he was messaging this day. Let's have a look. What's this one? It's just fully redacted. What is this? Mother's Alpine House. What was he up to this day? He fell into the water, drowned. Yeah, sorry. Eva Dubin is... Hold on. I'll tell you exactly who Eva Dubin is. Eva Anderson Dubin, she's a former model and physician. So she's a pageant title holder. People were saying that she may have actually been writing prescriptions for Epstein to do with STD medication. You do things you do in your country. Hello, Chris. Hello, Sean Froelich. Has everyone carried the flame today? Why are you even asking stupid questions? Of course I carried the flame. I just want to see if... Like, look at the stuff Jeffrey Epstein was just up to this day. Oh, wait, no, these are different days. But that's... So this is the email we're looking for. So March 15th, 1:22 p.m., 2018. Okay, so this is where it moves to somewhere else. March 15th, 2018. Who was he emailing this day, and why can't we know? Now we're back to 2015. Navigating these fucking files is insane. Let's have a quick look. 2018. Hold on. Oh, look at this one. He sent something that just says redacted victim's twin sister. Fucking insane. Ugh, it's just repugnant. Just everything is redacted this day. What was he up to this day? 11:03 from Richard Kahn from Jeffrey Epstein sent to Peggy Siegel. Michael Wolff asked him for a chat this afternoon. James McGee. Look at this one, actually. Wait. Hold on. God. Him and Stephen Hawking were very close. Okay, I found a digitized article on the existence of McGraw-Hill by Maxwell. Oh, thank you. If anyone wants to check that out, Silent Scythe has put a link in. Simon Sebag Montefiore is in it. Is he? Really? Okay, let's have a look at this. Jeffrey, it's been a while, but I wanted to offer my condolences with regard to the passing of Stephen Hawking. I know that you had worked with him and that he had attended some of your conferences in the past. Sad day for science. People that look beyond the world today. Busy. I've been dragged down in the Virgin Islands today. VI again, sorry. I assume that's Virgin Islands. Sorry, that was a guess. But yeah, right. I've kind of just been exploring and trying to find out more about this Maxwell story. He sent this on March 15th, 2018. I'm just really interested as to, like, okay, what else was he doing this day? What else do we see this day? But we can't find out because these emails are so poorly put together. There might be one way, which is talking about, like, putting in one. So this is at 1:22 p.m. So he was emailing this Peggy Siegel woman right before. This is such a weird conversation as well. Just listen to this. Thanks for last night. Something Sutherland was great. Don't send any more money to the niece. Let's see how she responds. Can you email Charlie Rose contact? I told Woody about your Bezos conversation. Peggy Siegel was a very famous publicist from New York. He was actually messaging Sultan bin Sulayem at this time. So who could this be? Who could he be messaging Robert Maxwell about? It's really kind of hard to find out. Justice Department fluffboy for DC Patriot Act sold this country justice. I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy how difficult it is to sort of navigate any of these files to try and look for anything in this because it's just so shit at this point. Like, Epstein was sending so many emails as well, just out and about all the time. And why is it redacted? Like, who is he messaging about this? Because if we knew who he was messaging here, we could find out, like, Ooh, okay. That's quite an important email to know more about. 2018. But no. Like, this is such a significant email to hear about him threatening Mossad. Epstein, Mossad. Hold on. Look at this one as well. This is a crazy one. Have a read of this. Actually, I'll just search it myself. I'm having a great time. Maybe you find more. Well, the problem is if you search Maxwell, it'll just come up with daughter Maxwell, who's not really that helpful. You should make clear that I... Okay, let's have a look at this thread of emails, because I've only ever seen this one. Already confirmed I'll be in London for the meeting. Thanks, Ehud Barak. So he's talking here to Jabor Y, which is some specific businessman. Some specific Kuwaiti business... people. I'm not sure who this Jabor Y guy is. I've kind of forgotten. But yeah, so here you have it. After they're talking about this... there's this message from Ehud Barak that says, "Are you going to be in London today?" Epstein replies, "Unfortunately not. You should make clear that I don't work for Mossad. You or I. That I don't." What flag is that? What flag is that? Is that the... What... Can anyone tell what flag that is? Is it El Salvador? Or Nicaragua? Nicaragua. It's the Nicaragua flag. Why would he be sending that? It's not the Israeli flag, it's the Nicaraguan flag. I don't know what the El Salvador flag is. I think the El Salvador flag looks like that. Oh wait, it could be the El Salvador flag, but it kind of looks like the... It's either El Salvador or Nicaragua. So whatever it is, I don't know. The only reason Ghislaine is still alive is because pissing off boats is harder for women. Wanting the piece of cloth covers Mecca is very peculiar indeed. Can't get that on my head around that one. I think it's just fancying like some really fancy item. Is it normal to communicate that much via email? That's honestly so weird to me. I mean, it is very weird, but maybe it was just of his time and he just really enjoyed doing it. So that's Ehud Barak sending it. Yeah, maybe Ehud Barak is so stupid that he couldn't work out the Israeli flag. Okay, in 15 hours I take off for Europe and early afternoon to London. For unclear reasons, I still don't have a hint about the venue for the meeting on Thursday. Can you try help on clarifying the situation? So what this looks like is Ehud Barak is messaging Jabor Y. Hold on, I want to check who this Jabor guy is. Who is this Jabor Y guy? So no one really knows who this Jabor Y guy is. Apparently he's an individual from Qatar. Excuse me, that's where he's from. So some guy from Qatar, this Jabor Y character, is who he's messaging. It's not the Argentinian flag. No, it's the Nicaraguan or El Salvador. So Barak was messaging these people. And then a few minutes later, he starts messaging Epstein. So actually 20 minutes later... Ehud Barak says to him, "Are you going to be in London on Thursday?" But he's talking to Jabor Y and he's telling him, "Convince them that I don't work for Mossad." National Day, we plan to depart. Warm regards, Jabor. In principle, we were... Jabor Al-Thani. Oh, so that's who it is. Jabor Al-Thani. Oh, it's this guy. So he's a member of the Al Thani, so he's a member of the royal family. He's the Director General for... Have people reported this? Democrats release more Epstein files. The email in question to an individual only identified as Jabor Y. It seems to be that this is Jabor Al Thani. Jabba al-Thani. I've tried my best to change my schedules. Okay, so he's clearly just talking to this guy about some kind of business thing where he's saying, hey, don't mention that I'm part of Mossad, or don't mention that I have anything to do with Mossad. From the tiny detail in the Nicaraguan flag having slightly lighter blue, they're identical. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to work out which one it is. I don't know if we ever will be able to work out specifically which one it is, but I don't think it really matters that much. Okay, right. Let's quickly... let me just do one more search of Mossad and see if it pulls up anything. Once again, the problem with searching something with, like, Mossad is just... Wait, what's this one? Look at this one. Wait. So Ehud Barak sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein saying, call me, I'm in Paris, basically. But this is one Jeffrey Epstein sent on the 8th of November. Did Bowies ask you to help obtain former Mossad agents to do dirty investigations? This is getting a lot of press, and then this is clearly something that was taken offline. This was Al-Thani's that were going to buy Manchester United. Amazing. I didn't even know they were going to buy Manchester United. Who is Bowies? I'm just having a quick look to see if... Kind of crazy that you can just look at this kind of stuff. Who's this person? Oh, wait, yeah. Here's another one of them just talking about statecraft. The Libyans now are legit, but they need real help. They must be careful. There will be many claims on that money. Understood. Remember, there are already $80 billion in frozen funds, assets, internationally, of which $32.4 billion is in the US, and it is estimated that the real number is somewhere between 3 to 4 times this number in sovereign, stolen, and misappropriated assets. So if we can identify, recover 5% to 10% of these monies and receive 10% to 25% as compensation, we are talking about billions of dollars. But the real carrot is if we can become their go-to guys, because they plan to spend at least $100 billion next year to rebuild their country and jumpstart the economy. Also, remember, Libya is a rich country as its population is 2 million less than the city of New York. It has 9th largest crude oil reserves and natural gas reserves on the planet and a literacy rate of about 80%. I have been speaking to the law firm Paul Hastings Janowski Walker, 1,200 attorneys of which 240 are partners, to go after the money on a contingency basis. They are considering this because Patton Boggs is representing TNC on a contingency basis, but it would be to our advantage to pay them on an hourly basis and initially go after low-hanging fruit, which would enable us to keep the money. I also have friends formerly with MI6 and Mossad willing to help us identify stolen assets and get them recovered. Greg Brown. Greg Brown. I'm assuming... I don't know who this Greg Brown is, guy. Greg Brown. Who is he? I mean, he's probably just some fucking business area. But kind of crazy that you can just find, like, hey, yeah, here's another Mossad connection. And, oh, I know these people who are in Mossad. Wait. Here's a 2021 thing as well about Mossad here. So this is Mark Iverson sent about, this is 2021. A second black book, blah, 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 blah. A backdoor software perspective. Robert was given a state funeral in Israel after his tragic death. I suspect Robert Ghislaine and Jeffrey were all Mossad agents trying to blackmail leaders in the political and financial world. At the end of the second black book is an organizational chart, blah, 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 with potential co-conspirators and the physical location in the part. This chart may help your investigation. So this is someone just emailing the FBI talking about this. So, hold on. I'm just going through some stuff and seeing if there's any more here. What the fuck? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this for a second. Somebody, Jizzy Max. Yes, that makes sense. Listen to this. So this is him talking to this Tom Pritzker guy. Let's have a look. So starts off with, I'm in wed / fright. Edelman, will check. Epstein says, Barack and the boys in PB. Wild, wild. Read an interesting article on why Comey screwed Clinton. Came from Israeli press. Comey as DA is hunting down Mark Rich to indict him. Ehud calls Clinton and says, please pardon Mark Rich. He's done work for Mossad that has been valuable. Clinton pardons Rich and Comey and has been pissed ever since. Comey got his opening to get even. No idea if this is an accurate story. It's weird that they were just like talking about this on email, you know? Yeah, I know. Mark Rich has been mentioned in the files quite a few times. It's not JB Pritzker, no, it's Mark Pritzker, Mark Pritzker has an insanely perverted email to Jeffrey Epstein, which I'll pull up in a second. Okay, right, hold on. Right, this is Tom Pritzker. Listen to this one as well. I am in a remote valley of Afghanistan. It's my birthday with boys' toys. With boys with toys. Spent time with Petraeus yesterday. That's a general. Yesterday, and he loaned me a chopper. Actually two, one with backup. Can't call till tomorrow. What the hell was this? Why was Tom Pritzker, an American businessman, billionaire, why on earth was this guy in Afghanistan? What was he doing in a remote valley? What does he mean he was with boys and toys? What does any of this mean? In a remote valley. Hold on. So Jeffrey Epstein asks him, do you have time to speak? Can't call till tomorrow. And this guy's just in Afghanistan. What the hell is he doing? Like, what is this? Why are you there? What was this guy able to do? How can an American billionaire just go to Afghanistan for a birthday wish to just hang out there? What was he doing? Was he killing people? Was he torturing people? There's not much more information as well. This is the only... No, I don't know if he's related to J.B. Pritzker, Thomas Pritzker, J. Pritzker. Yes, he's cousins with J.B. Pritzker. Actually, Tom Pritzker is J.B. Pritzker's cousin, so there you go. That's their relationship. This seems like a sniper tourism you mentioned. Yeah, it does actually seem like that sniper tourism. That's the exact thought that I had, give dogs cigarettes. Like, we don't see any more. What was he doing in Afghanistan? This is like, you know when they're like, oh, there's nothing to investigate, there's nothing more. This has to be pulled up. This has to be thought about of, hey, why are there messages from J.B. Pritzker about like, hey, I'm in a remote valley in Afghanistan, can't really talk right now, it was my birthday wish, I'm hanging out with a general there. What is this? It's just, it's just like really grotesquely inappropriate. And I'm just trying to see if I'm going through all of these quickly, because I'd seen this earlier and I was like, oh, actually, I should just check the files and see like, what these people are up to. But like, why? What are you getting a chopper to do? What are you doing in a remote valley in Afghanistan? Why? Why does any of that make sense? Like, seriously, why? Why is this a thing? Why is it that some American billionaire is just there? I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know what to say. I think this is the problem with trying to work out much of the Epstein files, because what the fuck is this? Like, genuinely, what is this? Like, he's texting Jeffrey Epstein about how he's a billionaire who gets to fucking visit some remote valley in Afghanistan. It's weird, it's not appropriate, and it's totally unacceptable and immoral. But then kind of everything that these people got up to was inappropriate and immoral. And it doesn't really end here. This was shared by Noah Colwyn, by the way. So this is Bill Burns, who went on to be Obama's who went on to be the head of the CIA director under Biden. Oh, exactly. And Lydia Cruddy, that's a great point. They enabled child trafficking. Like, you know, and drug abuse. What was he doing with General Praetorius? How did you spell his name? General with Petraeus. General Petraeus. David Petraeus. Petraeus wrote. I'm really intrigued as to how the hell this guy was just allowed to do this. Why there was just an American billionaire just hanging out with them. But yeah, let's quickly listen to this. So this is Peter Thiel setting up a meeting between Bill Burns and Peter Thiel. This is Epstein doing this. Bill, Peter Thiel will be with me 1314 in New York. I think it would be nice for you to meet if convenient for you. There is an apartment for you to use if you choose. Many thanks for your thoughtfulness. We'll try come up either 13 or 14, although I may have to travel overseas. We'll confirm as soon as I can. We'll also be in New York week of 9/22. Warm regards, Bill. Okay, weekend free? Thanks for your patience. Would a mid or late afternoon meeting SAT be possible? I would have to get back to DC that evening. My boss will be away, and I expect to expend most of the weekend in White House meetings. Usually busy time there. Many thanks. And then there's another one of him organizing meetings with apparently Kathy Rumler and Peter Thiel to dinner. Who's Kathy Rumler? Oh my God, she's former White House counsel to President Barack Obama. Why was she having a meeting with Peter Thiel, with Jeffrey Epstein? Isn't it just so odd? And I did listen, Sigma Roy, and I apologized. I thought that you were trying to wind me up. Sorry, and I apologize for that. Here's another one. Here's how it goes. Go watch Woody Allen edit his movie. There's photos of that. Andrew Farkas, this is Dejugoff, is asking if he could come see you alone on Wednesday. He says he can be flexible. He could do any time between 2 to 5 p.m. He must leave by 5 p.m. It's just kind of insane that this stuff exists. That this stuff is just out here. That this stuff is just findable in these fucking stupid files. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, excuse me. We have done more chemical warfare than the Nazis. Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Being a US military general seems scandal enough. Yeah, I mean, of course being a US military general is fucking scandalous. Working in pretty much any Western military is fucking horrifyingly scandalous. And just grotesque. Is that all I want to... There's also by the way, there's also a... Okay, so this is probably also another damning piece of information. So I think that this is from CHS. So a CHS is a confidential human source. So I think confidential human sources are seen as something that are like seen as reputable, right? Confidential human source. They're seen as like reputable to the FBI. Is an informant a defendant who engages in prohibited activity associating with persons? Who secretly provides information. Okay, right. So this is like a relatively reputable source. Now, let's just have a look at this. Let's just have a look. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz. CHS learned that Dershowitz, influenced by many students from wealthy families, for example, Josh Kushner and Jared Kushner, were both his students. Dershowitz told CHS if he were young again, he would be holding a stun gun as an Israeli intelligence Mossad agent. Confidential human source believes that Dershowitz was co-opted by Mossad and subscribed to their mission. Confidential human source continues to communicate occasionally for Dershowitz. So this is someone who's like an FBI informant working with Alan Dershowitz. Confidential human source was asked by the handling agent about information he may be aware of to improper domestic or foreign influence over the electoral process. So this is someone who believes that this had influence over the electoral. It's actually fucking mad that this is real. That this is like some FBI report that's just unclassified. Jeffrey Epstein was represented by Dershowitz. CHS remembered Dershowitz tell Alex Acosta, U.S. Attorney, Southern District of Florida at the time, that Epstein belonged to both U.S. and Allied intelligence services. CHS shared phone calls between Dershowitz and Epstein, during which he/she took notes. After these calls, Mossad would then call Dershowitz to debrief Epstein, was close to former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, and trained as a spy under him. Barak believed Netanyahu was a criminal. I like how that's included. Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the UAE are allied against Qatar, Turkey, Iran, and Syria. That's changed. One of CHS's Redacted, who presumably worked for Redacted, asked CHS a lot of questions about Epstein. CHS became convinced that that Epstein was a co-opted Mossad agent. See previous reporting. It's based in... She's been running a firm called Day Ventures. Oh yeah, listen to this one as well. CHS advised Chabad is doing everything they can to co-opt the Trump presidency. Chabad is basically state-sanctioned Judaism. It is used by Putin to keep tabs on all Russo-Jewish oligarchs. On the day Trump was elected, President Ivanka and Jared were at the gravesite of Rabbi Shearsum, who was the most powerful rabbi in the Chabad network. Jared didn't disclose his stake in Cadre because of his Russian state NFI, ties to the Russian state. CHS believed this was /is the real Russian collusion story. Kushner has moved a lot of Russian investment money around. The FBI should investigate Kushner's family, charities to find evidence of corruption and money laundering. Chabad routinely uses charity to launder money. Oh, God. What's wrong with the US military? Do you want any authentic... I mean, using the term cabal in this context, I would avoid it just because obviously people will be like, oh, it's anti-Semitic. But it is pretty crazy that a confidential human source is saying this. Like, look, it isn't confirmed, and I'm still more, like... We haven't seen anything that's like firsthand from Epstein that really looks like he was a Mossad agent. Not saying we'd get that. But it is interesting that he's like, yeah, Maxwell's a Mossad agent and that he operated in this area where definitely Israeli intelligence. Like, look, if Israeli intelligence are getting pagers over to Hezbollah in Lebanon, they are definitely going to be able to work out whether or not Jeffrey Epstein is whether Jeffrey Epstein is up to this kind of shit or not, basically. Whether Jeffrey Epstein is working for them. Hi, Chris. Hi, chat. Hello, Asiam Bianchi. CHS provided an attached article entitled Jim McGreevy and His Main Man by Craig Horowitz, published in 2004. The article is old and centered on Charles Kushner. It highlights and documents the deep ties that the Kushner family has with Israel and their history of corrupt business practices and violations of electoral laws. CHS stated that if the FBI is serious about investigating the Kushners and their relationships in the Middle East, they should look closely at Ken Kurson, who knows everything. CHS advised Henry Kissinger introduced Charles to Kui Tiankai, the Chinese ambassador to the US, a relationship that could have been helpful at around the same time of the introduction. An Bang was entering negotiations with the Kushners over 666 Fifth Avenue. Crazy. Acid ambiance. What did I say wrong? Ambianchi. Oh my god, yeah, I should... Jesus Christ. That is a very dyslexic response, but no, it's ambiance. Sorry, Who is Ken Kurson? So Ken Kurson is just a journalist. He has an X account, I think. Let's hope he has an X account. Okay, he hasn't really been posting much. Has divulged Trump's hotels. Harry Tanoesoe Dinbio has been involved and has developed Trump's hotels and is a billionaire. Harry, redacted, introduced him/her to Indonesian CIA, redacted Indonesian Beverly Hills, home from Trump at an inflated price, was at Harry's house. Trump told him that he was going to fuck Amazon over their military contract. CHS advised that this was a real collusion story. Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind his organization and presidency. By the way, a sick president who doesn't really have a working brain, which I do actually increasingly believe is true of Trump. By the way, I had a tweet, which I'm not sure many of you saw, that I actually think is, you know, everyone's like, oh, Trump had a stroke, Trump had a stroke. Watch this video of Trump.
Catherine Burkham, thank you both very much. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Where's Bobby? Bobby? Hello, Bobby. Come here. I love Bobby.
Look, he can't work out where Kennedy is.
Thank you.
But he's just looked. He's just looked behind him. That's where Kennedy's standing. That's where Trump is looking. How could you look behind you and not see Robert Kennedy there? Sorry, excuse me. How is that possible? How at all could you look behind you? When you have a stroke, one of the symptoms of having a stroke is losing your visual field.
Thank you, sir.
How is it plausible to turn behind you? Because there's no way, there's nothing behind him that would be blocking Kennedy. He fully sees behind him. He has probably had a stroke. And Eisenhower was someone who was pretty sick and was basically controlled by just controlled by the Dulles brothers. That's apparently who kind of controlled him and had a huge sway over his presidency. So the notion that Jared Kushner could be playing, and he is playing a large role, but playing a large role in playing a large role over Trump's policy is not unbelievable.
Chemists
So this is the alleged video of Trump shotting himself.
are coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to.
Oh my god, you can hear it.
Coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. No, I hear fantastic things. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Oz. He's doing a fantastic job. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, please. Thank you.
Oh my god, he did shit himself. I didn't hear it in the video.
Mr. President, can you respond to the new
Look at her.
Fox poll that says people think ISIS's tactics are too aggressive?
God, imagine having to stand there behind the old senile president as he shits himself.
Opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. No, I hear fantastic things.
Look at this guy.
Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Oz. He's doing a fantastic job. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, please. Thank you.
Mr. President, can you respond to the new Fox poll that says people think ISIS's tactics are too aggressive?
Oh my god. Well, I mean, maybe it'll fund Pac-Man's revenue, but it's certainly not as good as, Wait, it's certainly not as good as... I don't know. This surely can't be copyrighted.
Biden farts, do-do-do-do-do, Biden farts.
This is Steven Crowder bits.
Biden sharks do.
This is what Steven Crowder was posting. But yeah, I really don't think that, like, but he's doing very well, like, at this point. I really hope that you can control your bowel movements at that age. Bro, I'm not going to be president of the US ever. And I don't plan to be. But it is just so funny how so many of the freaks who are like, Biden's too old, which he was, by the way. It's kind of like, it's kind of unbelievable that this guy just is still the president. And the notion that he may be being puppeteered by someone else behind him. What's that? Someone's posted another video where apparently he's shit himself.
It's going to be a thing of the past, and I'm so proud to be part
And
of this.
fellas, some great things happening, right?
Yeah.
Marty, there's great, really great things happening, I hear. And some pretty big announcements over a short period of time, right?
Yep. Moving drugs over the counter so you don't need a prescription.
Yeah, right.
Naloxone, which treats opioid, is one of those drugs. And we're being proactive with synthetic 7-OH, a new opioid that's showing up. And we're working with the DOJ on addressing that because chemists are coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up.
Oh.
We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
Listen to his stomach gurgling as well.
Proactive on these new chemicals. To keep up, we're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. No,
Hi, Chris. May I ask, what do you think Jeffrey Epstein actually believed? I've seen so much, but I'm not really sure the things he said are scary, though. What do you mean, what Jeffrey Epstein actually believed? Jeffrey Epstein believed that he should be making huge amounts of money. That's what Jeffrey Epstein was pretty much just interested in. I've been in front of a bank of cameras and reporters yesterday as I don't even want to read that. That's grotesque. But yeah, look, this idea that Trump is being puppeteered by people behind him, whether that's fucking Rubio, Vance and the Teal clique behind him and all these other people, but yeah. He's not a well man. He's not a well man at all, and that is what Diet Coke, a diet of Diet Coke and McDonald's does to a motherfucker. Ugh, it's just grotesque. Just utterly grotesque. Okay, we're gonna now get into. So yesterday, the BBC was saying that the Epstein stuff is playing bigger in the UK, and perhaps the Epstein stuff is playing bigger in the UK because of one reason, which is. So now, if any of you aren't familiar, we talked a little bit about Mandelson yesterday. Mandelson is perhaps one of the most powerful people in British politics. He's also, by the way, someone who worked to undermine Jeremy Corbyn basically his entire fucking life and said Jeremy Corbyn couldn't rule. But let's just watch this little video. There's our man Keir Starmer.
A year ago, it would have been unthinkable. Peter Mandelson, the Prime Minister's man in America, not just stepping down from that role, but from the Labour Party itself, with which he is so deeply associated. But those who have flown too close to the toxic fires of Jeffrey Epstein have time and again found themselves burnt. And now Keir Starmer is calling for the removal of his peerage. The latest release of Epstein files uncovered photos of Mr. Mandelson with no trousers on, with an anonymous woman, and also revealed the then Business Secretary and Labour MP leaked sensitive UK government tax plans to...
So yeah, basically, this guy was not only maintaining a close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, he took money from Jeffrey Epstein, but he also was leaking sensitive government documents to Jeffrey Epstein.
The convicted sex offender, and advised him to mildly threaten the Treasury over a proposed banker's bonus tax, as well as telling the disgraced financier that he was trying hard to change the policy from within at Epstein's request. The documents...
It's also, by the way, just absolutely insane that people... that like, look, democracy is such a bizarre concept anyway, but at this point, the notion that we are democratic, when there are billionaire elites who basically get free secrets over British politics because someone may or may not have been engaged with sex trafficking with you or seen you sex trafficking, because why is that women redacted? Why are you in your underpants why are you in your boxers, your tighty whities with a woman whose face is redacted in Jeffrey Epstein's Paris flat? Like, what is that all about?
Also show multiple payments of thousands of pounds from Epstein.
Like, the fact that this is like apparently what democracy looks like, receiving hundreds of thousands of pounds for absolute crap from Jeffrey Epstein is just unbelievable.
To the former Labour spin doctor or his husband, one of which was after Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting girls as young as 14 for prostitution. In a statement last night, Peter Mandelson said he felt regretful and sorry about the new links to Epstein, adding allegations which I believe to be false.
It's just mad that this guy hasn't been arrested. First of all, leaking like government secrets to, to anyone feels like something that might need you to be arrested. I don't know. Personally, I think that that's something that should get you arrested. But I think more importantly, influencing British politics at the behest of a billionaire pedophile is kind of indicative of maybe it should be jail time for you.
That he made
Oh, and by the way, Starmer appointed this guy to be ambassador to the US. And the reason he appointed him to be ambassador... he appointed him after he knew that he had been to Jeffrey Epstein's house after Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted pedophile.
Payments to me 20 years ago, and of which I have no record or recollection, need investigating by me. While doing this, I do not wish to cause further embarrassment to the Labour Party, and I am therefore stepping down from membership of the party. He also repeated a previous apology to the women and girls in...
I left the Labour Party because they neutered the ability of the members to select the next leader. Mandelson leaves because of this, lol. Yeah, I mean, first of all, the problem is one of the people who took away your ability to select the next leader is literally the guy sat here. He's the guy who created Keir Starmer. Look at this photo, look at these photos of him in the Epstein files. If someone said, oh, no, this appears to be Ghislaine Maxwell, according to... By the way, A Up Lovely has been on absolute fire with Keir Starmer and Peter Mandelson stuff. Genuinely brilliant stuff about this. But I don't agree that that's possibly Ghislaine Maxwell, or probably her. I think actually, quite likely, this could be someone who is a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. And he's getting his feet tickled by her. He's gay as well, so probably not necessarily a sexual thing, but this could well be a sex-trafficked woman. And also, once again, look how bad the fucking redactions are, because why is there a redaction here? Like, what could be possibly identifiable about her sleeve?
Impacted by Epstein's crimes. This afternoon, the Prime Minister said he thought Mr Mandelson should be removed from the House of Lords, clearly keen to distance himself after previously giving him a top role.
This is yet another mess that the Prime Minister has got himself into. He had no reason to appoint Peter.
Well, he probably wasn't using him to blackmail him with... He wasn't using him to blackmail with a girl, probably, most likely. Well, I suppose, actually, it was kind of indicative of even if you didn't do anything, you were aware of the sex trafficking, so maybe you're right.
Mandelson was warned again and again and again that this man should not be appointed.
You know what, though? Someone said, why would they redact Maxwell? I agree with you, but looking at their skills at redaction, they may have.
And all of these allegations that have come out just show that he is someone who is not fit for public office. I think there is a...
Why is she also in, like, a shop? This is Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party, the opposition. Yeah, I think she is in Holland and Barrett, which is like a UK kind of drugstore that sells, like, vitamins and stuff.
A lot that needs to be looked into, including investigating how he ever came to be appointed.
Keir Starmer also commented on another of those disgraced by their link to Epstein, the former Prince Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, who he said should testify to Congress. The late Queen's son, who has consistently and strenuously...
It's also kind of crazy that you can be associated with a billionaire pedophile and it's just like, go testify for Congress of your own free will. It's like, no, go yourself. Don't go yourself. You should be sent there by the British authorities. I assume we can't just extradite someone, but the British authorities should have you arrested. There are photos of you with young women. There are photos of you requesting and discussing your desire to meet up with women affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein, women who may well have been sex trafficked. That's what Jeffrey Epstein was, a sex trafficker. The fact that you can just sort of be like, oh, well, he should go himself is insane.
Always denied any wrongdoing, had already lost his title and royal lodge as a result of his friendship with Epstein. But new photos with an anonymised female raise further questions, which those close to the victims say he needs to answer.
I'm so glad that the Prime Minister did what he should have done, which is call on Andrew, formerly known as Prince, to come out and speak to Congress. The clock is ticking, and we're still waiting for his answer.
As for the man who, under pressure, reluctantly ordered the release of the files, his name is mentioned hundreds of times in the latest dump. President Trump has always said he and Epstein stopped talking long before his conviction, and his administration called the newly revealed list of allegations made about him to the FBI unsubstantiated. For his detractors hoping for a smoking gun, the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche put pay to that, saying this release will be the last. Cue the next fierce debate as Democrats call the suspected 2.5 million documents not released unjustified, and the president himself says he has been absolved. But as the now not a prince and the possibly not a lord for much longer will tell you, this story never seems to go away, and those that think they are finally free from accusations may never stop looking over their shoulder.
There are a whole host of well-known...
Whoops, I didn't mean to click that, but yeah. This is, like, I cannot reiterate, it's kind of not really a wonder as to why this is such a large story in the UK, because this guy was appointed by, this guy was appointed by Keir Starmer recently. So here's Peter Mandelson emailing Ghislaine Maxwell in 2003. So this is pre-conviction, that might be his argument. So she's saying, it will have to. We need to hear you speak. I am currently in the Turks and Caicos. I am flying my helicopter from PB to the island, arriving tomorrow. I can call you when I land to discuss plans with you for the money. I'll be calling around 10:30 your time. What is the best number for you, and up to how late can I call in case I meet unforeseen delays in helicopter arriving at the island? G. I am going to Turks and Caicos at the end of May to advise the government. BS and Christina, ONG, have a resort there. Where are you staying? Member of Parliament for Hartlepool. This is Peter Mandelson emailing Ghislaine Maxwell, seemingly from a personal government account. They could have found this years ago. Fucking Hartlepool is mentioned. I've been to Hartlepool. Sorry, excuse me. I've been to Hartlepool. Interesting place, to say the least. But yeah, I mean... It's just unbelievable. I showed you... Wait. Oh my god. Look at this one. It's kind of like unbelievable that this guy hasn't been arrested. So this is the one of so Ghislaine, this is the full, he apparently ruined Jeffrey Epstein's birthday lunch, which you've got to wonder what you have to do to ruin Jeffrey Epstein's birthday lunch. Do not be disgusting, Ghislaine. This is then him sending Ghislaine a message. I love disgusting. That's why I'm wild and dangerous and twice fallen. Suffice to say that neither me nor mine will lead you to the third spill. You know what they say, though, third time lucky. I think George Mitchell might have some political blah, 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 blah. Anyway, you spoiled Jeffrey's lunch, Pete. I have warned you about that before. Behave or you will be punished like the bad boy you are. Now you are impatient. I am beginning to get a sense of what you were like as a child. Ghislaine Maxwell saying to Peter Mandelson, I am feeling starved of contact. It's just like unbelievable that this is what's going on in the UK. And they're like, yeah, Peter Mandelson is, you know, he's not in prison is, I think, the most important thing. So he was giving out information and he was helping JP Morgan to try and get him threatened. So here's Jeffrey Epstein lobbying in the Epstein files. Here's him lobbying Peter Mandelson to change UK government policy. I'm up. Don't you wish you were? So that's from Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Mandelson. And he's saying at the weekend, going to be real prob over bonuses tax. Jeffrey Epstein then says to him, what about only taxing cash or taking stock? They're talking about taxing bankers' bonuses. And then here's Peter Mandelson replying, they are very dug in. Again, when do you leave? Thursday. Any real chance of making the tax only on the cash portion of bankers' bonuses? Trying hard to amend, as I explained to Jez last night. Jez is like a senior figure in JP Morgan. Treasury digging in, but I am on the case. Let me know before Jez, please. Okay, they are not being helpful. They JP Morgan, or they Treasury. Treasury. GB needs help in May, not another enemy. You think he's talking about the UK, or a car crash any earlier. Amend it. Deliver the messages personally to Diamond. I am going to sleep. Listen to the authority, by the way, that Jeffrey Epstein talks to someone with incredible power in British politics. What did he have on this guy? Now, here he is talking about Jamie Dimon. It'll tell you his actual role. Jamie Dimon was the... Where is it? Jamie Dimon. Where does it tell you what Jamie Dimon's role is? Jamie Dimon's just a senior figure at JP Morgan. Let's go for. Should Jamie call Darling one more time? Darling being Alistair Darling. They said that JP Morgan alone was over the 500 million said to be needed. Yes, and mildly threatened. This is Peter Mandelson advising Jeffrey Epstein and JP Morgan how to threaten the British government to basically get money out of them, to basically get them to not cut a banker's bonus, to basically make it so only cash gets taxed instead of the huge amount of stock that they're getting. And then here's another one from Jeffrey Epstein. Does it make more sense to offer more than for the business fund in exchange for a reduction in tax? Mr. Diamond's mood is very, very angry. So they have Alistair Darling. What was Alistair Darling's actual role? He was the Chancellor of the Exchequer, I assume. In his autobiography, Mr. Darling describes Mr. Dimon's mood as very, very angry. Okay, here's after the election, and Mandelson basically trying to... So the next one is about how he gets a job from Jeffrey Epstein. I am on your team. That being said, so this is Jeffrey Epstein messaging him. That being said, as currently written, the chances of a JP Morgan position would be, I don't know, it's redacted by accident. Most people think if I hadn't been there, Great Britain would have lost all... Gordon Brown, would have lost all our seats, not just 100. Cannot check quotes. They would never agree. Here is Peter Mandelson again. He was getting jobs through Jeffrey Epstein. Reflecting on our phone call, I hope I can do something with JP Morgan. I told Lazard that I have been asked to do an event in China for JP Morgan, as well as dinner in Hanoi for Barclays and an event in an evening in London for HSBC. These are all major banks. Barclays is a huge bank, by the way, hugely linked to Israel, and HSBC is another bank. They say they're happy with this. What they won't accept is my travelling around generally with another bank's name on my ticket. Where appropriate, they want me to bear the Lazard brand. Push business their way. Lazard will help my own and Global Council's brand. Lazard have also said, though, that if in the course of Global Council business, that's his lobbying firm, by the way, business, I am helping deals that involve other banks. They will be grown up about that. They have their own close relationship with JP Morgan, Barclays, etc. So if I am going to do something for JP Morgan, it should be discreet global council project, something that does not directly compromise my Lazard relationship and which does not trample on Tony's territory, Tony Blair. At this stage in my post-ministerial life, I am learning, but I am a quick learner. My aim is to acquire enough knowledge and networks in time to participate in real deals. I do not want to live by salary alone. That's why I need to do as much as possible to build with JP Morgan. This is just incredible that this is going on. This is what the elites of Great Britain are doing. And here he is begging for a job. So he's talking to here. There's him leaking to Jeffrey Epstein, Charity Videra, an advisor to Gordon Brown, who played a key role in the UK's response to the financial crisis. She wrote a memo with proposals for pushing the banks to increase their lending. And then this was just forwarded to Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein got all of this information. And then here's another one where they start talking about saleable assets. Now, someone has argued that what those saleable assets might have actually been, that the government sold off that were in the public sector that could have been made private, was the Dartford Crossing, the Channel Tunnel rail link, Urenco, the Tote, UKAEA, a government property, £16 billion of public assets, and Wall Street received advance notice via a convicted paedophile. Mandelson's reward? Epstein helped him pursue a $4 million a year job at Deutsche Bank. Labour made him a lord. What year was this? This was in 2009. So he may have sold off the student loan book. So maybe the situation in which we are, to do with the student loans and all of this crap, is because these people wanted to sell them off, and how bad it got is in part because Jeffrey Epstein was telling his financial elite businessmen how to make more money. It's actually unbelievable that the economic upturn will not come around, or public spending, nor given the downturn. It's just these people talking about this. It's just unbelievable. I genuinely wonder if this is the end for Keir Starmer. Because Keir Starmer helped to put this guy into position as the ambassador to Washington, when there were already serious allegations against him.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Had a second interview today and got the job. So pumped to be able to donate solid amounts of money to my local orgs again. Lifted Spirit, thank you so much for the $5 and congratulations. I'm incredibly glad to hear that you got the job. I'm glad the interview went well. Listen to this as well. This is Peter Mandelson talking about Jeffrey Epstein.
Saturday morning to Islington North in order to campaign for the Labour candidate against the independent Jeremy Corbyn. I'm doing that because what I think Jeremy Corbyn stands for, his ideology, what he's done to the Labour Party, the sort of defeat he took us down to in 2019, and the alternative that's offered by the Labour candidate is so stark. I want to go out there personally and back the Labour candidate and do everything I can to make sure Corbyn is defeated.
You know when Hassan is like, judge me by my enemies? I feel like Jeremy Corbyn could hold up his enemies and be like, look at what these people are actually like. This is who was working against Jeffrey Epstein. These are who was working at the behest of Jeffrey Epstein, seemingly, and also against Jeremy Corbyn. No doubt a major pusher of the anti-Semitism scandal. No doubt someone who did everything in his power to overthrow to overthrow Jeremy Corbyn, because Jeremy Corbyn was someone who was, actually wanting to change the world, and might have threatened someone like Peter Mandelson and all of the money that he'd made and all of the relationships that he'd had with pedophiles.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Wow, Yeet the Elite. Hey, shout out Chris in the community. I'm going to use this absurd excuse not to go into work today. Fuck yes, cheers, y'all. Thank you, Yeet the Elite, for the $10. An incredibly kind... the incredibly kind donation. Thank you for supporting and making the work possible, but enjoy your day off, man. Here's also another message from Peter Mandelson in 2013. This is a guy who's over and over again claimed... Peter Mandelson, that his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein was a mistake. And that it was just like a one-off thing. But of course it wasn't. Of course this wasn't at all in any way a one-off. He had a great dinner with Jeffrey Epstein in 2013. That was a great dinner. Hit all the right notes. Thank you. What happened to Woody and the goldfish? Lord knows what he's talking about there. With how depraved these people are, I wouldn't surprise me if it was just him eating a fucking goldfish. Peter Mandelson really was a depraved individual. What the fuck is this? I've just been sent this. So this is Sunyi Previn, who is Woody Allen's daughter and now wife, daughter-in-law. Listen to this. Hoping you can make it to Paris because we can have fun and hate to just use your car and chauffeur. If you don't show, be sure and send contact information. Hope you don't think I'm one of those aggressive women, but I am wearing my Nazi hat while I type this. Sent from Sunyi's iPhone. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Yeah, wife-daughter is insane. And Sunyi Previn also sent, is the Nazi hat orthodontic original or is it a copy? Orthodontic? What the fuck? I think it's replica because it says made in India. Who's she messaging about a fucking Nazi hat? It's just incredible. This is who Peter Mandelson was having dinner with Jeffrey Epstein. There's one also about him having goo on his face. And by the way, there was quite a significant thing about a torture video, if any of you remember. There was this thing basically about whether Netanyahu had been messaging Jeffrey Epstein regarding a torture video. Now, some people are saying that that is actually not the case, and it may have actually been Peter Mandelson. And I just want to pull that up. Hold on. By the way, if you want to see how vindicated, A Up Lovely is, here are all his old tweets of just calling Peter Mandelson a pedo. Oh, wait. The torture one has been deleted, so I guess I can't cite that one. But he also reported, by the way... There's a report here that he attended a meeting, an exclusive dinner with Trump, Mandelson, and Bill Clinton aide Doug Band. After bid $50,000 for his services at Hampton charity. Oh, God. And there's another one here. Student in Mandelson perv scam. Stunned police found the name Peter Mandelson on a list of alleged 7,000 alleged British internet paedophiles given to them by the FBI. It was in 2003, it was reported that Peter Mandelson's name had appeared on a list of users of a child sexual abuse website given to Scotland Yard by the FBI. Miraculously, it turned out it was just a Welsh student, though the student had no such materials on his computer. Phew. Oh, God. Like, how long have these people known exactly what he's like? And of course, he had to bring up, A Up Lovely brought up the banger ContraPoints tweet, which I'll read to you. People were really not familiar with the basic facts of the Epstein case. All the victims who testified at Maxwell's trial said they were trafficked to Epstein himself, who abused them with Maxwell's assistance. Come on, bro. We literally have confirmed emails that Prince Andrew was getting women trafficked to him. Oh my God, look at this 2009 Epstein email from Peter Mandelson. You are the only person who knows everything about me. Don't go away. Sent from my BlackBerry wireless device. Peter Mandelson messaging this to fucking Epstein. And by the way, if you're wondering why he's in power, Look at what this guy's been up to. On the 1st of November, he attacked ridiculous calls for Starmer to back Gaza ceasefire. Owen Jones, why Labour hasn't kicked out Epstein's buddy Peter Mandelson? Because he is a close ally and mentor of Keir Starmer's Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney. A truly vile government. It took them this long to kick him out because Peter Mandelson is so powerful in British politics. Peter Mandelson is someone who for so long, he built Gordon Brown. He built this New Labour bullshit. And this Morgan McSweeney guy is Keir Starmer's closest ally. He is the Chief of Staff to Keir Starmer, the Chief of Staff under British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and has been since October of 2024. And he was taught and trained by Peter Mandelson. That's what this boils down to. That's why he got away with this for so long. Because he helped to build this New Labour. Because he relentlessly attacked. Because he relentlessly attacked Jeremy Corbyn. Like, look. Mandelson, Labour must stamp out anti-Semitism. World at One. Hold on. I can't listen to it. Oh, okay, I can't find this. But yeah, I mean, just like, what does this boil down to? They protected this guy because he helped to build the disgusting Labour Party that we have today. Let's listen to Andrew Marr talk
Keir
about
Starmer has said he believes Lord Mandelson should no longer sit in Parliament, following those new revelations and photographs showing the peers much...
By the way, this is the worst scandal of all of this. This is the worst scandal of all of this stuff related to Keir Starmer's reign in power thus far. Gaza is obviously a bigger scandal, but it's a problem that goes through all governments. This stuff of just continually bringing back this odious fuck who very obviously was related and had relations with Jeffrey Epstein is truly unbelievable.
Deeper links to the paedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. They said, Downing Street said, Sir Keir Starmer believes the former ambassador shouldn't be a member of the House of Lords or use the title. He's been on a leave of absence for some time now, partly caused by the fact that he had that US ambassadorial post, but he will have to make...
I highly doubt all these circles are gone. I think all these roles likely have inheritors. I mean, the notion that there's someone who's taken over Jeffrey Epstein's role as sex trafficker to the stars is... I don't think it's really undeniable.
His position clear or it be made clear for him one way or another.
Also, by the way, I don't hate Hassan. Like, I know people have problems with some of the things he's done, but I find it always very hard. Like, personally, I've engaged with Hassan. Hassan comes across as, like, a very nice man, I will say. Hassan brought me on his stream, which I am incredibly grateful, and it showed many of you who I am. And you are all entitled to criticize Hassan. Hassan is not above criticism. One thing I will say, though, is I do think as someone who brings people into left-wing politics as the biggest streamer doing it out there when there are so many other people who are right-wingers who fail to pull in any kind of who pull in so much bigger audiences than the vast majority of streamers. Having a counterbalance to that is like a good thing. But yeah, by the way, you are more than welcome to dislike him. It's your prerogative.
In the coming weeks and months. This comes as the country's top civil servant has been tasked with urgently reviewing information on links between Lord Mandel witness. Here's how he responded.
Yes, Yeet the Elite, what's up?
Because I was a gay man in his circle, I was kept separate from what he was doing.
By the way, using the I was gay defense is actually unbelievable. This guy just going, oh, I was gay, so I was kept separate. You could not be kept separate from what Jeffrey Epstein was up to.
In the sexual side of his life. I mean, he in a sense, had three buckets of people in his life: the business and the financial, the political and the academic, and then what he was doing with young women. It's possible that some people crossed over, but I didn't. And I think probably the reason I was separate from the third of those is because I'm gay.
Well,
I actually cannot believe this. Once again, all of these people cooking up their... This is, by the way, someone who's meant to be one of the greatest spin doctors in British politics, who did amazing work to... who did all of this amazing work to establish the New Labour project and politics and all of this kind of stuff. And his defence is, oh, I'm gay, so I didn't know about Epstein.
In the same interview, Lord Mandelson was asked whether he would apologise for his association with Epstein after Epstein's conviction.
I want to apologise to those women for a system that refused to hear their voices and did not give them the protection they were entitled to expect. That system...
By the way, using all of this therapy speak and talking about a system, when you've been in British politics, right? You've been in British politics and you have facilitated and maintained this kind of status quo, but also simultaneously having maintained a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted for this stuff is unbelievable.
Gave him protection and not them. If I had known...
I was marginalised on Epstein Island.
I was in any way complicit or culpable.
And yeah, it's the Kevin Spacey defence.
Of course I would apologise, but I was not culpable. I was not knowledgeable of what he was doing, and I regret and will regret to my dying...
Look, I think if you're in one photo with Jeffrey Epstein at some event, you may not have known actually what was going on. However, if you are his best pal, you knew. You knew, because there would have probably even been some people who were a little uncomfortable in his circle, who were like, hey, actually, some of this stuff makes me feel a bit uncomfortable and blah, blah, blah. And they would have said, yeah, we, mentioned rumours as they left and stuff, and yet Mandelson, nah, nothing.
The fact that...
Where are all the POC pedos? I think EDP has been doing some of that kind of stuff.
Powerless women who are denied a voice...
And also, by the way, there are a lot of pedos. I think Jeffrey Epstein was just fucking racist. Not gonna lie. Oh, sorry, I've just seen Thomas Volshow posting.
Were not given the protection they were entitled to expect.
Well, Andrew joins me now. Andrew Marr, presenter of Tonight with Andrew Marr on LBC. You'll know it's Mondays to Thursdays here on LBC. Andrew, good afternoon. Thanks for joining me. Why don't we start with the Downing Street statement from 10, 15 minutes ago or so? That's a big bit of pressure now, isn't it?
It's absolutely inevitable from what we learned today, the latest revelations about Peter Mandelson.
I just think if you're a person in public office, if you've been and stayed at a paedophile's house after he's convicted, that's it. That's the end, right?
He has been almost out of the door for a very long time. This is the end of the end. It was inevitable that Keir Starmer would try to strip him of his peerage or ask him to leave the house.
Look, Chris is objectively just factually better, cooler, and more based than Hassan. Fact-based. Thanks for the $5, the elite. Thank you for the incredibly kind donation, and enjoy your experience, your experience in this state of altered mind. Enjoy. Thanks for the $5.
House of Lords, but
LBC is trash. I just wanted to see what Andrew Marr had to say.
Starmer's critics will say, too little, too late. You should have known, you should have taken action earlier on. So I don't think it helps the Prime Minister particularly. I don't think it helps the Labour government particularly, but it certainly doesn't help Peter Mandelson, of course.
The question of a peerage, who can remove a peerage and how?
That's very complicated. It has to go through. It has to go through the King. I think there has to be an Act of Parliament and all the rest of it.
When you think about, when you think about Epstein and the King.
I'm not. To be honest with you, candidly, I'm not entirely sure. This all came around, if you remember, Lord Lebedev, Russian connected. There was a lot of talk about him being stripped of a peerage and kicked out of the House of Lords. And it took a very long... It was very, very hard that time. I think if the person concerned is determined to try to stay, they can make it very difficult. Now, I assume that Lord Mandelson, as he still is just about, is in the mode to do everything he can to avoid embarrassing Keir Starmer and avoid embarrassing the government. That's why he left.
I have a hard time. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if there were young men young men involved in it, implicated. It wasn't obviously their fault and they weren't implicated. But I think like the really, really significant thing about this is like, you hung around him, you saw it happening, you participated in it, you knew what Epstein was.
The Labour Party last night, and therefore that he would be willing to leave the House of Lords. In the real world, he's not going to turn up there and speak and be taken seriously ever again. After the first fall over Epstein, he tried quite hard to come back. He wrote pieces for the Times newspaper, he did interviews for the BBC and elsewhere, and it was perfectly clear this was stage one of the comeback tour. That is finished, that's gone, it's never going to happen again.
So are we likely, do you think, to see a kind of speedier version of what we've seen with the former Prince Andrew, I should say, that just bit by bit, the position just will not hold?
There are many things to say about Peter Mandelson, but he is a realist and he understands the world of politics and power, and he must now know that he is, as it were, leaving a top window at very, very fast speed, and that therefore it's best just to get it over and done with as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like unbelievable. It's just truly unbelievable that this is a real thing that's been going on. We don't need to watch any more of Andrew Marr telling us about this. It's obvious that his days are up, but it is crazy. It's crazy, by the way, that there isn't like some kind of mechanism to remove someone who's affiliated with a pedophile, who's done all of this shit, who gave out government secrets to someone so they could make loads and loads of money. It's just repugnant that this still goes on and on. Oh, wait. Actually, one of you just mentioned that there were men involved. Read this. From Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Mandelson. Well, and then this person to Jeffrey Epstein. Wanting to fly to Berlin. Upset because lost the number of the Russian guy I knew was there, so no fun. Again for Petey. Oh. By the way, I'm surprised that there's 300 odd of you staying in here when Hassan is live across both platforms. It's actually unbelievable. I'm incredibly grateful for the audience that I'm building on here. We might have to go for the beefy laptop when I'm away. But if I don't have a laptop, we'll be kept up with no politic here and all of this stuff. Have any of you seen Chomsky's email? We'll start actually with a little palate cleanser. Let's have a read of what, actually... Hold on, I need to pull this up. So, look, a lot of people have come out of this smelling terrible. A lot of people have come out of this just struggling. One guy who's come out of this as looking even more based is I was about to say Alan Dershowitz. No, it's damn Norman Finkelstein. Norman Finkelstein may not be a perfect individual, but listen to this. So someone was saying, damn, I thought a heinous crime was the US invasion of Iraq, or at least murder, rape and pillage, blah blah blah. Okay, so here's from Norman Finkelstein to Trivers.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Natasha Trivers. Yeet the Elite, how many times do I have to tell you you're just more based and more authentic than Hassan? Thank you so much, Yeet the Elite, for incredibly kind donations. Who is Natasha Trivers? Natasha Trivers, she's the chief of Democracy Prep Public Schools. Yale School of Management is apparently who this lady is. Anyway, so she's CC'd in Jeffrey Epstein. So Jeffrey Epstein... Norman Finkelstein in this cites this. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz was around Epstein frequently. Dershowitz was so comfortable with the sex that was going on that he would even come in and chat with Epstein while I was giving oral sex to Epstein. My guess is, if Epstein put your daughter at age 15 in such a position, you wouldn't publicly describe him as a friend and person of integrity. In fact, I would hope that you'd promptly throttle both Epstein and Dershowitz. Look, he comes across as incredibly based here. Incredibly based. Just unbelievable. Incredibly based. And yeah, like, look, I hear he's transphobic. I hear he's a two-stater. But at least, unlike Chomsky's, by the way, a two-stater as well, so same criticism can easily be leveled against him. But look, here's Noam Chomsky's letter. This is probably the worst thing out of all of it. Hold on, actually, I'm going to pull it up on the actual Epstein files machine. Let me pull up the Epstein file machine. Epstein files search. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so from J vacation to Matthew Hiltzik, re-thoughts from Chomsky. This is what Chomsky is saying. I've watched the horrible way you've been treated in the press and public. It's painful to say, but I think the best way to proceed is to ignore it. I'm not going to talk like Chomsky because you're not actually going to be able to hear this at all. But yeah, I've had plenty of experience, though of course not on this scale. A Google search will bring up tons of hysterical accusations of all sorts, even groups devoted to vilifying me. I pay no attention unless I'm approached for comment on a specific matter. It's a nuisance, but it's the best way. The same conclusions from experience of others, in some case close friends. What the vultures dearly want is a public response, which then provides a public opening for an onslaught or venomous attacks. Many from just publicity seekers or cranks of all sorts, which is impossible to answer. How do you prove that you are not a neo-Nazi who wants to kill the Jews, or a rapist, or whatever charge comes along? That's particularly true now with the hysteria that has developed about abuse of women, which has reached the point of that even questioning a charge is a crime worse than murder. For virtually everyone who sees any of this, the reaction will be, where's the smoke? Where there's smoke, there's fire, maybe raging fire. Whatever the facts, which few will even think of investigating. In general, it's best, I think, not to react unless directly questioned, particularly in the current mood, which I presume will fade away, even if not in time to prevent much torture and distress. Hard to say, but it's the best advice I can think of. No. Now, what I'm going to say about this is, maybe Noam Chomsky was someone who just met Epstein in a professional sense. And Chomsky had a wife. Maybe Chomsky didn't get involved in any of this stuff. But still, sending an email like this is so repugnant and disgusting because, put frankly, you could just do a Google search and you could find all of this. What is this stuff, the crap you're sending? Are there no mods in here, by the way? What are you sending, Devon Dungeon? If there's no mod in here, there's going to have to be a new mod appointed. You have evidence on talk. What are you talking about? What is this you're talking about? No, sorry. I just no problem, because I'm just really confused as to what this guy is saying. No problem, Tony Soprano Lover. You got here at near the end. Terratrove, don't worry as well. It's not your duty, and I could have seen it. But I probably do just need a new mod. I can barely stand. Yeet the Elite, bro. Get some orange juice in you. Apparently that makes you better. Don't worry about being here as well. It's not your duty. It's something I can deal with. But I just have no idea what this guy was sending. Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence of any of this? Qatari Oiler, I would mod you, but I don't know how much you're here. I want to mod someone who's, always here. I think Elab probably does make sense to make a mod. Or Anna Banan. Those were the two people who I was thinking of making a mod. I have no idea, like, why he went through a breakdown. Well, he wasn't even glazing Noam Chomsky. And of course, right, there's no evidence that Noam Chomsky did anything bad. But what I will say is that you could have just done one Google search. Yeah, Elab, fuck it, I'm going to make you a mod. Hold on. Add as moderator, standard moderator. I will make more mods as it grows. Don't worry. Also, don't apologize if you're a mod and you're not here. I don't pay you right now because, you know, it's not like one day I would love to do that, but I don't pay you right now. It's not your duty to be here. Thank you for all the work you do. But yeah, I think I can't believe it even is here. I chat less, but I'm usually here. Okay, Qatari, maybe when the chat grows a bit, I'll make another mod. But yeah, I mean, just all of this stuff is fucking insane. I think, though, am I out of stuff that I wanted to talk about? Let me just have a check before I... Yeah, I'm kind of out. Maybe I'll do a quick little bit for just... If there's anything people want to chat about quickly. But yeah. We can chat if anyone wants. For a little bit, you know. I think I'm pretty much done. It'll be a shorter stream, because obviously this week you're going to get 5 streams. It's going to be a busy week, so I wanted to finish a tiny bit earlier. But if anyone has something they want to talk about or ask and stuff, yeah, just please, like, mention. Can be a real mod now. Fork the Toaster is part of the community. You're all part of the community, and I'm incredibly grateful that you're here and you're chatting and that you're supportive of me. But yeah, if there's, do you condemn Hassan? No, I don't condemn Hassan. Do a dab. I'm not doing a dab. Can any women grow a beard like me? HML. Yeah, women can grow beards. Women be shaving. That's all I'm telling you. Women be shaving. Oh, shit. Have any of you seen this Tulsi Gabbard story? I read it earlier, and it looks pretty interesting. It's just kind of unclear as to what the hell it's actually even about. It's from the Wall Street Journal. Basically, they're making claims that apparently there's been wrongdoing by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, a whistleblower complaint that is so highly classified it has sparked months of wrangling over how to share it with Congress, according to US officials and others familiar with the matter. What the hell do you think this is actually about? Does anyone have any kind of idea what this is about or any thoughts as to what it may be? Because Tulsi Gabbard is definitely involved in, like, election interference related stuff. Do you think it's Russia related? Do you think... Honestly, I really don't have any idea what this could actually be about. Like, really intriguing. Probably about her cult. I don't know. I doubt that it would be anything to do with the cult. What is information that is so significant that couldn't be shared? Pravenda, good to see you, man. Tulsi Gabbard, what a weirdo. Sometimes she actually does her job by mistake. She got the Russian nuclear football confirmed. She stopped uploading thirst traps, yeah. No idea. Stealing votes? I don't know. What is it that is so significant that it couldn't be mentioned? The filing of the complaint has prompted a continuing behind-the-scenes struggle about how to assess and handle it, with the whistleblower's lawyers accusing Gabbard of stonewalling the complaint. Gabbard's office rejects the characterization, contending it is navigating a unique set of circumstances and working to resolve the issue. I think it was about her being on the ground with FBI agents when they're investigating stuff. But the complaint is not recent. Like, she was on the ground, right? But could it be that, Sophie? Because I swear this complaint is actually older. There's just been apparently some more reporting that I've just seen. But apparently this is the alleged photo of her on the ground. By the way, cool looking photo. She looks like fucking Kieran Culkin's character out of Succession. Which Roy is he? Which Roy is he? Fuck. A cloak and dagger mystery reminiscent of Jean le Carré novel is swirling around the complaint, which is said to be locked in a safe. Disclosure of its content could cause grave damage to national security, one official said. Do you think it's about the election being stolen? That it's probably bigger than something that's just like her being on the ground. I don't know. What has she done? It's just never-ending fucking scandals. Roman Roy, thank you. There's apparently some New York Times report. Oh, God.
It is utterly ridiculous.
Don't know how you feel about the I've Had Ladies, but they recently made a short video. It's about I've Had It Ladies. Sorry, I read that as I've Had Ladies, which I thought was going to be some sort of, like, creepy male account. Elections. I'd have to find it. Thank you for the €5, Clara Mayella. Thank you for the incredibly kind donation. Probably sold info. I think it could be sold info. They're investigating Jordan Person, maybe like stealing ballots or something, lol, speculation. But it was before, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, wait. According to a November, it was filed last May. Was she doing anything related to election interference back in last May? This is exactly why, if you're a whistleblower, you need to go directly to the press rather than any other level of government. Azizam, you've seen 3 Days of the Condor. How do we know whether the press is going to publish it or not? But I just wanted to tell you something. So obviously I searched Tulsi Gabbard, the New York Times, and, you know, it's a great search. Look whose tweet came up. His tweet. His tweet came up. Look. Charlie, the New York Times just published a ridiculous piece smearing Tulsi Gabbard as a Russian propagandist and essentially a Russian asset. Not until 6 paragraphs down do they finally fess up and admit there's absolutely zero evidence she collaborated with Russian intelligence. Fuck. Oh, no, it can't be true. Every time I see his face, I'm reminded of how did a damn face get that small? Was he shrunk in the wash? What has caused this kind of business? Oh, also, by the way, Tectone admitted that he was view-botting on Twitch. And he's also apparently had, like, undiagnosed schizophrenia for a while, which, you know, I'm sure is a difficult thing to suffer with. But listen to this.
And I guess, in case you guys don't know, when I was 19, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in New Mexico State University. The meeting was very quick. It was very brief. I went in with my dad. I kind of said, hey, sometimes I see things that aren't there. And they said, you're schizophrenic. They gave me medicine. I took those medicines and they made me a zombie. I went to a psychiatrist yesterday. And I'll try to provide some documentation of this at a later date whenever I receive it. Guys, I'm not schizophrenic.
Oh, he's not schizophrenic.
The psychiatrist believes the reason why I see things that aren't there, mainly, well, at night, is due to the fact that I got stabbed in my left eye and my right eye is normal.
What? What? Why did he get stabbed?
And so they believe that my eyeballs are causing me to temporarily hallucinate things that aren't there because they're not signaling my brain properly. And what they believe that I have is anxiety with bad vision as well as unresolved childhood
ridiculous.
trauma.
Yeet the elite. I'm a zombie, bro. What the hell? What kind of pack are you on? What kind of pack are you on, bro?
So I was going there unironically, and I'm trying not to get emotional because I thought there actually might be something wrong with me, and so I was going to actually try to get medicated. They said I do not require medication. So, I guess I am just a human with anxiety, unresolved childhood trauma, and eyes that don't communicate too well to my brain.
Christ almighty. Christ almighty. Sorry, I'm actually going to take this off the screen because I know probably some of you will be upset. Also, Sophie, I saw what you mentioned about the Barry Weiss thing. Maybe I will check that out at a later date. It does actually sound really interesting. It does sound like a really interesting topic to cover. I've seen what you mentioned in the chat. It is insane. I hope that the full audio is out there. You can't quit cold turkey. Yeah, what the actual fuck is he saying? Bro, I don't know. He's just saying whatever the hell he's saying. He's being absolutely insane. Now, I'm happy for Hassan viewers to be here. I'm happy for people to like Hassan as well as myself. People are entitled to their own opinions. It's like, look, you're welcome to criticize him, but like, people can watch him, people can watch me. It's their decision.
Quite a few conversations with Mandelson. He is, well, he's not called the Prince of Darkness for nothing. I remember him saying when I was leader that every morning he woke up, looked at himself in the mirror and worked out what he was going to do that day to undermine my leadership.
It's actually fucking insane that this guy... There's a really great comment that I just saw here. So this is apparently Peter Mandelson messaging Jeffrey Epstein. And meet a nice rich Chinaman and live happily ever after. Talking of which, have you permanently stopped the Ronaldo sub? That's his husband, apparently giving him money to Ronaldo. I may have to put him out to work on the streets, joking about his husband going into prostitution. Then this swing voter said, constantly begging for money, such a pathetic scumbag. This guy, like the fact that the Labour Party, in the same way, by the way, that the Democratic Party can behave the way that it does, the Labour Party, the party meant to be organised around, you know, human beings and labour and all of this stuff and the bettering of the rights of the people who work in the who are working class, right? The fact that someone in that can just be begging a fucking convicted pedophile for money constantly is unbelievable.
He said that.
He said that, yeah.
To you.
Yeah, and he said that publicly. He said that it's my job to undermine him every day. He then turned up at a parliamentary Labour Party meeting one time and said, I was speaking...
Like... How is the party of the working class since 1998 governed by people like this? In 1998, Mandelson memorably remarked that that New Labour was intensely relaxed about people getting filthy rich. How is this the standard of politics that you accept?
Speaking and taking questions as leader, he said, Jeremy, what do you say to those 20,000 people that have just resigned from the Labour Party because of you? I said, well, actually, Peter, I don't recognise those figures at all. That is simply not the case, and I think you know that. He said, well, it's what I think, you know.
I really don't think Corbyn is a perfect politician, but just comparing his, like, moral upstandingness in comparison to just, you know, fucking Peter Mandelson and Keir Starmer, it's night and day.
At which point John Prescott joined in. John Prescott, who had a mot juste for every occasion, he said, nobody cares a bugger what you bloody think. And then they got into a row between...
Okay, this is just British politics stuff, but interesting to hear him say that. But, like, also, let's hear what Schumer has to say as we close the stream.
The fight for aid to Israel, all the aid that Israel needs. I will continue to fight for it. And we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, under my leadership.
By the way, once again, I actually cannot believe that when people say, "Oh well, if Trump wasn't in power, everything would be fine," Kamala would have allowed this to happen. This is fucking Chuck Schumer talking about how proud he is of giving insane amounts of money to Israel and how they provide Israel with everything that they need.
Than ever before. We will keep doing that, everybody. It is so.
We'll keep doing it.
So important to give Israel what it needs and to protect itself from the many in that difficult region who want to wipe Israel off the face.
He's an amazing person with great ideas and a horrendous politician, not nearly ruthless enough. Unfortunately, the stories of most moral politicians are often blighted by the fact of them not being ruthless enough. A story from Kurdish history, if anyone's interested, is a guy called Ghazi Muhammad. Ghazi Muhammad was incredibly interested in democracy. He was the leader of the Republic of Mahabad. So Barzani, who many of you may know, and I don't think Barzani is necessarily like that much. Masoud Barzani, no, it can't have been. Masoud Barzani's father was a leader of like Kurdish militants, and he fled when the Mahabad Republic collapsed. And he told Qazi Mohammed, flee with me, come with me, please come with me. And Qazi Mohammed made the choice not to go. And he died because of it. And the same thing happened with Mossadegh. If Mossadegh was incredibly ruthless, then the situation would have been different in Iran. If he'd engaged in an authoritarian coup to install a left-wing government there, if you read into what happened with the CIA MI5 coup on Mossadegh, he could have stopped that, right?
Difficult region to want to wipe Israel off the face of the map.
Still talking this shit. And you guys are right, pulling up difficult region. Yeah, who made it difficult?
We have to do everything to do that. We have to do everything to ensure that the delicate ceasefire secured last year paves the way to lasting peace, where people can live side by side, as many have mentioned, in a two-state solution. The fight for...
Oh, God. By the way, I've just got a very interesting comment on one of my videos saying about the dentist chair in Jeffrey Epstein's house. Hold on, I want to read this to you. The dentist chair you're referencing is specifically to put biometric medical devices into your teeth. I use it to track and monitor not just your location in metadata, but also your biometric data. It can even measure if you're stressed or sad, depressed, and then can be used against you. That information, so be careful. I have no idea what the hell this guy is talking about. Okay, guys, I am going to end the stream there. Thank you so many people for coming. Thank you for an incredibly kind donations that I received and all of the support and stuff. There are links to donate to Ukrainians through power cuts in the pinned comment. But also, if you're new here, join the Discord. Thank you also for supporting and being so incredibly kind and all the chat and stuff and watching during a day. I was worried I was going to get slaughtered and get like 100 viewers because obviously Hassan is so much bigger than me. But honestly, thank you so much for being here and have a lovely, lovely, lovely rest of the evening. I'm back tomorrow and then we got No Politic here on Wednesday. Thank you. See you guys later.